Chapter 140, Mid-Nascent Soul Stage. I shall return this imbecile back to you, Qinfan. Jingjing is now under your care, Mo Xiaoxiao said with a sullen expression as she stuffed the heavily intoxicated Shinjunjie into his Mercedes, addressing Qinfan. Su Jing is also in your hands now. If it's still in that neighborhood, it should be on your way, Lin Zixuan likewise said to Qinfan. No need, I can make my own way back, Su Jing refused with a shake of her head upon hearing this. You can rest assured and leave, Qinfan said. Upon hearing Qinfan's words, everyone naturally trusted him and left, leaving behind Su Jing and Qinfan, both wearing embarrassed expressions. Then, the two walked silently along the roadside. You seem to have changed a lot, Su Jing attempted to break the awkwardness by speaking first. Considering it, it's been 3 or 4 years since we last met. Change is inevitable, Qinfan responded. Su Jing fell silent at his words, and the two continued their silent journey forward. Qinfan, do you have something to say to me? Su Jing finally couldn't bear the silence and spoke to Qinfan. She ran in front of Qinfan, her beautiful eyes fixed on him as she said, Don't tell me it's a confession. We truly aren't compatible, or rather, we are not of the same world. With that, Su Jing's beautiful eyes dimmed once again. I am truly accompanying you as they said, we are merely traveling companions, Qinfan calmly stated. Su Jing froze at his words. Any man approaching her had intentions, because Su Jing was truly beautiful. Her beauty rivaled Lin Xingyan's, and because of a unique aura about her, she possessed an even more extraordinary charm, akin to an orchid in a secluded valley, surpassing all others. This was because Su Jing had cultivated a certain technique, not something innate. Do you remember what I said to you before? Qinfan continued. Which one? Su Jing asked, slightly puzzled. Yes, what I said is true. If there's ever anything, you can find me, Qinfan said. Su Jing turned her head away, avoiding Qinfan's gaze, too afraid to answer. But as she turned away, she suddenly saw a middle-aged man approaching from across the street. My dad's here to pick me up, I'll go first. Upon seeing this man, Su Jing became somewhat flustered, quickly saying to Qinfan. After speaking, she ran towards the man. However, halfway there, she turned her head to look at Qinfan, then spoke loudly, Qinfan, thank you. With that, she ran to the side of the middle-aged man. Qinfan looked towards the middle-aged man not far away, naturally recognizing him from his memories as Su Jing's father, Su Hong. Su Hong, around 50 years old, looked thin, as if he were unwell. And Su Hong also saw Qinfan, his eyes emitting a chilling coldness. A cultivator of innate perfection, Qinfan observed Su Hong, furrowing his brows. Su Jing indeed has some issues. Qinfan, isn't it? Su Hong spoke at this moment, his tone somewhat subdued. Uncle Su, Qinfan nodded in greeting. Ginger is not someone you can touch. Remember to keep your distance, Su Hong spoke solemnly to Qinfan. Dad, I have no relationship with Qinfan, we are just friends. We're having dinner together tonight, Su Jing quickly spoke up. Let's go. Ignoring Su Jing's words, Su Hong just snorted coldly and turned to leave with Su Jing. As Su Jing looked apologetically at Qinfan, she left with Su Hong. Qinfan watched their retreating figures, forming a divine mark with a swift movement of his hand, then imprinting it on Su Jing. With his current spiritual awareness, as long as Su Jing remained in Huahai, she wouldn't escape his tracking. Then, Qinfan swiftly returned to his old house. Entering the room, Qinfan immediately sat down cross-legged on the ground, the chaos pearl floating up, accompanied by the emergence of the sinister energy. Once the sinister energy appeared, it began to boil, continuously condensing. In the end, the remaining unrefined sinister energy was all condensed and refined at this moment. At this moment, the condensation of the sinister energy was successful. With the successful condensation, a vast force surged within Qinfan's body, continuously pushing his cultivation to advance. As Qinfan had anticipated, the successful condensation brought benefits, enough to propel him into the mid-nascent soul stage. As time passed, the power continued to surge, continuously absorbed and refined by Qinfan, finally shattering the bottleneck of his realm. Mid-nascent soul stage. Qinfan opened his eyes, then stood up and left. At this moment, he sensed that something had happened to Su Jing. During Qinfan's cultivation, Su Jing and Su Hong arrived at a secluded mansion. This mansion seemed quite ancient, showing signs of age. After entering the mansion, Su Jing saw an old lady with white hair sitting in a chair, beside whom stood a thin woman who seemed to have been ill for a long time. Jinger, you're back, the woman greeted Su Jing warmly upon her return. Mom, Su Jing responded softly. Why didn't you call me Grandma? Su Jing's mother, Shi Qing, asked Su Jing. Su Jing looked at the old lady with a complex expression, because the old lady held a scepter in her hand, and the head of the scepter was actually a skull. Grandma, Su Jing called out. Where did you go? Grandma asked in a low voice. I went to have dinner with some old friends. It's a farewell, Su Jing said softly. Su Hong said you were getting close to a man? Grandma asked again. No, I have no relationship with him, Su Jing quickly replied. Su Jing, you must understand, you are the young master's woman. You are absolutely not allowed to have contact with other men, understood? Grandma reiterated. I understand, Su Jing pursed her lips, tears welling up in her eyes. Ginger, this is for your own good. Only when you marry the young master can our Su family go back. Can we be redeemed? Su Hong comforted Su Jing from the side, and keeping your distance from Qin Fan is also to save him. Otherwise, he will only be killed by us. Su Jing nodded slightly, feeling extremely unwilling in her heart as she said, I understand. Young master, since she could remember, whether it was her parents or her uncles and aunts, they all spoke of the young master, saying that she was destined to be the young master's woman. However, she had never seen this young master. At one time, she thought it was true, but after coming here and getting to know the friends around her, she changed her mind. But whenever she made any transgression, she would be warned by her parents or even scolded. But she didn't understand, why should her life be manipulated like this? Why couldn't she love and find someone she liked like other women? Jinger, get ready, the people are coming soon, we should go back, Grandma said as she stood up this time, speaking to Su Jing. Hearing this, Su Jing's mood plummeted to its lowest point. She knew that her life was over at this moment. Chapter 141 Escape. At 3 a.m, on the outskirts of Huahai City, in the woods. Jing, you must understand, the young master is a rare genius, nearing the age of 30, and already approaching the pinnacle of Taoism. It is your honor to marry him. In the future, you will be above all, and our Su family will return to the southwest, becoming the foremost family in the region, Grandma spoke softly to the bowed head of Su Jing. Grandma, I understand, Su Jing responded softly. Jing, you mustn't frown like that. The young master will be here soon to fetch you. Seeing you like this will displease him, Su Jing's mother, Shi Qing, said to Su Jing. In the future, you will no longer need to dwell in the mundane world, nor will you have so many worries. So, don't furrow your brow, Su Hong advised from the side. Su Jing lifted her head slightly, forcing a smile, yet her heart was filled only with endless desolation. The entire family was like this, she couldn't resist. Especially the widely acclaimed young master, possessing astonishing Taoist powers, capable of cursing enemies from afar and even commanding spirits. With such a terrifying existence, even seeking the aid of law enforcement would be futile, only increasing casualties among ordinary people. All this left Su Jing with nothing but despair and resignation. As Su Jing pondered, the headlights of a car in the distance illuminated the area, followed by a Hummer approaching from not far away. He's here, Su Jing's grandmother announced upon seeing the lights and vehicles. Immediately, the Su family prepared to board the car soon. The first car stopped beside the family, and the door opened, revealing a middle-aged man stepping out gracefully. Why is it you? However, as the middle-aged man stepped out of the car, Su Jing's grandmother's face changed abruptly, her expression filled with shock and fear. Su Hong and Shi Qing immediately shielded Su Jing, tense and vigilant, staring at the middle-aged man. Is she the woman personally chosen by the Witch King to be the young master's wife? I heard she possesses outstanding aptitude for cultivation. The middle-aged man paid no heed to Su Jing's grandmother, instead fixing his gaze on Su Jing hiding behind. Yunza, what are you doing here? Su Jing's grandmother asked sharply, while at the same moment, a faint glow emanated from the skull atop her scepter. This girl is so beautiful. Are you really willing to send her to be ravaged by that young master? Yunza smirked. She belongs to the Su family. Our family affairs are none of your concern, Su Jing's grandmother retorted coldly. Your family's daughter? Yunza smirked. Does your Su family even have a daughter? Or did you snatch her from outside for your own selfish gains, exchanging her for the glory and wealth of the Su family? What? What are you saying? Su Jing couldn't help but ask, even though she sensed an ulterior motive in his words, even if he wasn't a good person. Haha, little girl, haven't you ever wondered? You are clearly of the Su bloodline, yet the Su family has handed you over to the young master. That young master is not a benevolent figure. Countless women have perished by his hands, Yunza laughed heartily. Silence. Su Jing's grandmother commanded sharply. Tell me, what's going on? Su Jing asked loudly. She was truly puzzled. Since she could remember, she had been raised by her parents and grandmother as someone else's wife. She hadn't even experienced much love from her parents since she was a child. Because you're most likely not really of the Su family. You were brought in from outside by the Su family, deliberately cultivated as a vessel for the young master, Yunza continued laughing. Shut up. Nonsense, Jing is our daughter. Su Hong and Shi Chang were now somewhat flustered. It was precisely this fluster that made Su Jing feel that what the other party said was true. Little girl, let me tell you. Your constitution is very special, extremely outstanding in terms of cultivation talent. Not only that, you have a great use. You can help the young master in his cultivation. The young master is already at the pinnacle of Taoism. He just lacks a little to enter the realm of Grandmaster. And you are the key to his becoming a Grandmaster. Once you become the young master's woman, you will become the vessel for his cultivation, and ultimately, you will perish without a trace. In this world, what parents would push their own daughter into the fire pit? Yunza looked at Su Jing indifferently at the mention of perishing without a trace. Su Jing's expression changed abruptly. She looked towards her parents, grandmother. They had always told her that as long as she followed the young master, she would have glory and wealth. Father, mother, grandmother, is what he's saying true? Su Jing asked. Don't listen to him. Su Jing's grandmother spoke sharply. Once you become the young master's woman, you will make our Su family the foremost family in the southwest. By then, you will be the queen of the southwest. What's a little suffering for that? Upon hearing this, Su Jing felt a profound sense of desolation. She knew Yunza had spoken the truth. All right, everything that needs to be said has been said. You can leave now. I'll take her with me. Yunza addressed the Su family. Yunza, do you not fear the young master's retaliation for your actions? Moreover, he will arrive soon. Su Jing's grandmother spoke coldly. The young master is not yet a grandmaster of Taoism. Our Yun family can still deal with him. If he truly becomes a grandmaster of Taoism, then our Yun family will be doomed, Yunza sneered. Just you? Don't even think about it. Su Jing's grandmother spoke coldly. Of course, it's not just me. There are others who want to stop the young master. The Yun family isn't the only one. Yunza declared loudly. Moreover, Lady Bai, you're a mid-stage master. With the addition of 2 others by your side, sending me alone would be suicidal, Yunza smirked. As soon as he finished speaking, more than 20 figures appeared from different directions, surrounding the Su family. Obviously, Yunza had come first, engaging them in conversation to buy time, while the others quietly surrounded them. Tonight, the 5 major families of the Southwest are united. We will crush everything. We absolutely won't let the witch god sect's young master succeed. Yunza sneered. Lady Bai's face showed shock upon hearing this. She hadn't expected the other party to persuade the other 4 families to join forces. Even if the 5 major families unite, you're still no match for our witch god sect. Lady Bai sneered. When our young master arrives, you will all perish. The witch god sect's young master. Yunza smirked. Don't you think about why I'm the only one here? Upon hearing this, Lady Bai's expression changed. She spoke, her voice trembling. You mean? That's right, our Bai family is here to take this girl away, while the experts from the other 4 families are all out, fully attacking the witch god sect's young master. Although they won't pose any real danger to him, they can delay him for 4 or 5 days. By then, as long as I take this girl away, you will all be finished. Yunza sneered quickly. Take Jing away and go find the young master. Lady Bai immediately instructed Su Hong and his wife. After she spoke, the empty eye sockets of the skull on her scepter suddenly emitted a brilliant light, while Lady Bai murmured an incantation. The light flickered, instantly enveloping everything around, making Yunza and the others unable to see anything. When they recovered, they found that Su Jing had disappeared without a trace, leaving only Lady Bai alone. Chapter 142, Flame Spell. Qin Fan stood on the national highway leading southwest from Huahai City, witnessing Mr. Su Jing carrying Su Jing while running frantically all the way. What's going on? Qin Fan, puzzled, gazed at this father-daughter pair. Could it be that Mr. Su Jing is fleeing with his daughter due to domestic violence? It was well past 3 in the morning, and the newly constructed highway leading southwest was scarcely populated. Suddenly encountering someone blocking their path while Mr. Su was running and shouting caught Qin Fan's attention. As a master at the pinnacle of innate perfection, Mr. Su's running speed was almost on par with that of a typical car. However, carrying Su Jing naturally slowed him down considerably, and he couldn't maintain full-speed sprinting for long. In the midst of their flight, Mr. Su suddenly saw a figure ahead blocking their way. His initial reaction was that it was someone from the Yuan family coming to block them. However, upon closer approach, he was stunned to see it was Qin Fan. Qin Fan, what are you doing here? Both Mr. Su and Su Jing, whose heart had long been despaired, found it hard to believe. Qin Fan immediately released his spiritual consciousness and scanned the distance. Over 10 miles behind them, several off-road vehicles were rapidly approaching the father and daughter, and on the road, he also spotted a woman covered in blood lying by the roadside. This woman was none other than Su Jing's mother, Qing. Seeing all this, Qin Fan furrowed his brows slightly. There was certainly much more to this situation. Meanwhile, as a master at the pinnacle of innate perfection, Mr. Su had also sensed the pursuers behind them. He then released Su Jing, gasping for air, and said, "Su Jing, run. Run and find the young master. I'll hold them off." After saying this, he looked at Qin Fan again. "Qin Fan, someone is after Su Jing. Take her and run southwest." Su Jing's expression at this moment was extremely complex. On their escape route, Mr. Su and Qing had let slip some information. Although they were not Su Jing's biological parents, what Jinzai, the man who claimed Su Jing was being pushed into a fire pit by her own family, said was not entirely untrue. However, despite Mr. Su and Qing not being her biological parents, they had raised her for many years. So, her emotions were truly tangled to the extreme. "Qin Fan, let's go quickly," Su Jing gritted her teeth and said to Qin Fan. With that, she ran to Qin Fan's side and pulled him, ready to leave. "Why do we need to leave?" Qin Fan remained unmoved. "Don't ask why, just hurry." Su Jing, who was usually quiet, suddenly grew anxious. "Someone is coming to catch me. My father is staying here to delay them. There's really no time left. No need." "With me here, nothing will happen," Qin Fan responded calmly. Qin Fan now understood the situation somewhat. Those people were after Su Jing. Once captured, she would likely become an ingredient for their alchemical furnace. You, a mundane person, understand nothing. Those people aren't the small-time thugs you usually encounter. They're cultivators, ready to kill at any moment. Mr. Su was also anxious, angrily speaking to Qin Fan. "There's nothing to fear," Qin Fan shook his head. Still Mr. Su, seeing Qin Fan's lack of cooperation, turned to Su Jing and said, "Regardless of anything, I've raised you for over 20 years. I don't want to see you die like this. Run southwest, maybe you'll encounter the young master." Qin Fan heard this and looked at Mr. Su, finally understanding more. Su Jing wasn't Mr. Su's biological daughter. But Su Qing was truly conflicted now. Indeed, Mr. Su was not her biological father, and tonight she had learned that Mr. Su and Qing intended to push her into the fire pit. However, as Mr. Su said, they had raised her for over 20 years. Although they weren't exemplary parents, there was still affection there. So, she didn't want to see Mr. Su and Qing killed like this. Yes, just a moment ago, in order to let them escape, Qing had been beaten by the pursuers until she was at death's door. She might already be dead. "Don't worry, nothing will happen," Qin Fan said with calm eyes. "Besides, it's too late for you to leave now." Just as Qin Fan finished speaking, the off-road vehicles behind them caught up. Seeing those vehicles, Su Jing felt a sense of desolation. She then spoke, "Forget it, whether we die or not, it's the same. Even if we're not caught, we'll still die, just in different hands." Upon hearing this, Mr. Su glared at Qin Fan, wishing he could kill him. If he hadn't blocked the way just now, they might have escaped. However, there was no chance now. All they could do was to fight desperately and delay time until Su Jing's grandmother arrived to save them. Soon, 3 off-road vehicles surrounded them and came to a stop, and then the doors opened. The speed of a master at the pinnacle of innate perfection is indeed impressive, but unfortunately, it cannot last long, especially against cars. Yuan, the first to get out of the car, smirked at the trio. As he stepped out, others from the other cars followed suit, numbering over 10, with an elderly woman being brought out tied up. Grandma, Su Jing subconsciously exclaimed upon seeing the elderly woman. Just like Mr. Su, she was not Su Jing's biological grandmother, and they had deceived her for many years. However, she had lived with them for over 20 years. Emotions couldn't be discarded so easily, and because of her, they had managed to come this far. This old woman, a mid-stage master of the Taoist sect, unfortunately has no one to protect her. Even with so many innate martial artists around me, plus myself, she'll still obediently surrender, Yuan said smugly. When the young master arrives, all of you will die. The old lady, despite her predicament, continued to curse defiantly. The young master of the witch god sect is indeed formidable, but unfortunately, he's currently being blocked halfway. By the time he arrives, the opportunity will have passed, Yuan said, wearing a smug expression. The witch god sect? What witch god sect? Qin Fan finally caught a crucial piece of information this time. These people in front of him were trying to capture Su Jing, and apparently, this witch god sect also wanted to take Su Jing as an ingredient for their alchemy furnace. Indeed, shortcuts like extracting essence for cultivation existed everywhere. Who are you? Yuan, hearing Qin Fan's voice, finally noticed him, as well as Su Jing tightly holding Qin Fan's hand. He couldn't help but laugh. Are you Su Jing's boyfriend in the mundane world? The esteemed young master of the witch god sect actually got cuckolded. If this news were to spread, it would be quite amusing, he said, prompting laughter from the others. Shut up. Su Jing has nothing to do with him. The young master is not someone you can mock. Mr. Su retorted angrily. As he spoke, his aura surged, then he stomped his foot, shooting out like a cannonball towards Yuan. Mr. Su was at the pinnacle of innate perfection. At this moment, he exerted all his strength, and the surrounding chi was fierce, as if a punch could hit Yuan, either injuring him severely or killing him. TSK. Yuan sneered disdainfully and coldly. He formed a hand seal with one hand, and the ring on his index finger suddenly emitted a bright red light. In the next moment, a fireball the size of a basketball appeared, like a heavy artillery shell, fiercely smashing towards Mr. Su. Chapter 143, Have you ever asked me? Facing the incoming massive fireball, Mr. Su's face changed abruptly, and he desperately dodged to the side. The fireball passed perilously close to his body, its scorching heat making the surrounding area feel like it was about to cook. Boom! The fireball flew past and crashed onto the ground, instantly creating a thunderous roar. Simultaneously, a pillar of fire, towering 3 to 4 stories high, erupted from the impact site, illuminating the surrounding darkness. Soon, the pillar of fire subsided, leaving behind a large crater on the ground, with many flames still burning within. Mr. Su, witnessing this scene, was immediately terrified, abandoning any thought of retaliation. Su Jing was utterly stunned. That was a heavy incendiary bomb explosion just now. If they had been hit, they would likely have been reduced to ashes. Truly worthy of the Yuan family of the Southwest, mastering the art of flame manipulation, commented the elderly lady, trembling with fear. It's just a trifling skill, Yuan remarked indifferently. It can't compare to the sorcery of the witch god sect. Naturally. The sorcery of the witch god sect is inherited from the witch gods themselves. It's not something you mere mortals and your Taoist arts can rival, the elderly lady retorted stubbornly. You're only talkative now, Yuan sneered disdainfully. Then, he turned to Su Jing and said, See that? You really have no chance of escape. It's better to come over obediently. Su Jing clung tightly to Qin Fan, shaking her head incessantly. Su Jing, our Yuan family doesn't intend to kill you. As long as you come back with me, you can live well. Not only that, I will also teach you the ways of cultivation, Yuan said to Su Jing. Su Jing had a special constitution. If she was taught the methods of cultivation and focused solely on it for over a decade, she might step into the realm of grandmasters of Taoist arts. Furthermore, Su Jing's step-by-step cultivation method, compared to the young master who used sinister methods, had a more stable foundation. Perhaps in the future, she could even reach the legendary realm and become a pillar of the Yuan family. Simply killing Su Jing would only delay the young master of the witch god sect's cultivation speed. That young master would eventually become a grandmaster of Taoist arts. If there was no one capable of dealing with the young master by then, it would be meaningless. Previously, Yun Zhe had told Su Jing so much to let her know the reasons behind everything, to make her resent the witch god sect, and to resent that young master. This way, she could be persuaded to join the Yuan family and be of use to them. This was the true purpose of the Yuan family. I. Su Jing kept shaking her head upon hearing these words. She couldn't possibly believe these words. You have no right to refuse. Now come with me. These people still have a chance to live. Otherwise, I will have to kill them and take you away. Yun Zhe's voice brimmed with murderous intent as he spoke. Upon hearing this, Su Jing's expression changed, and she looked towards her grandmother and father. You are a woman of deep loyalty. Although they are not related to you by blood, you wouldn't just let them die like this. Don't worry, as long as you're willing to come with me, I guarantee that these people will be safe, including Shirqing. She's only seriously injured. If you come with me now, there's still hope for her. Yun Zhe continued to coerce and entice Su Jing. I'll go with you. Finally, Su Jing took a deep breath and said firmly, her gaze unwavering. After speaking, she turned to Mr. Su and said, this is also repaying you for raising me for over 20 years. Mr. Su shook his head upon hearing this, while the elderly lady could only sigh silently. At this point, this was probably the best outcome. Seeing this scene, Yun Zhe's face lit up with satisfaction. The Yuan family's objective had been achieved. Did you ever ask me if I wanted to go with you? But at that moment, a voice suddenly rang out. As soon as everyone heard this voice, they turned to look at the speaker. It turned out to be the ordinary man who was now standing beside Su Jing. Xin Fan. Su Jing's face changed drastically upon hearing this, and she hurriedly called out, what's your opinion? Who exactly are you? Yun Zhe squinted slightly, looking at Xin Fan. His fireball technique just now would instill fear in anyone who saw it, possibly even making them wet themselves in terror. However, as he looked at the other party, who remained calm, as if nothing had happened, Yun Zhe couldn't help but feel astonished. Was this person completely unafraid of death? Me? Xin Fan chuckled lightly and spoke, my name is Xin Fan. Su Jing is my dear friend. Shouldn't I intervene when my friend is being bullied? Dear friend? Yun Zhe couldn't help but laugh incredulously. Suddenly, he realized something and sneered, are you trying to play the hero? Have you even considered whether you have the ability? What a fool! Mr. Su couldn't help but curse at Xin Fan. You want to play the hero, but you're not even as good as Jing Er. Saving anyone? You don't even know who's present here. Everyone present was a practitioner. Even the weakest, Su Jing, although she appeared to be an ordinary person, had been trained since childhood. She had the aura of Taoist arts within her, she just didn't know how to use it. When she did, she would be many times stronger than an ordinary person. As for the others, they were even stronger, with the weakest being at the entry level of the innate realm. You, a mere mortal, coming here to join in the fun, still thinking about playing the hero. You'd be lucky to even be a burden. Yun Zhe looked at Xin Fan, still calm, then remembered Su Jing holding his hand tightly earlier. He waved his hand and said, forget it, you can leave now since you're Su Jing's friend. He wanted Su Jing to join the Yuan family. If he killed Su Jing's little boyfriend, Su Jing might bear a grudge against the Yuan family, which would disrupt his plans. Xin Fan, you should leave quickly, Su Jing hurriedly said to Xin Fan. She didn't know why Xin Fan appeared here, but it seemed to be because of her involvement. Therefore, she felt responsible for ensuring his safety. Just because of what you said earlier, you're in trouble now, Xin Fan said, looking at Yun Zhe. You. Yun Zhe's eyes widened upon hearing Xin Fan's words. You brat really don't know what's good for you. Since you refuse to leave, I'll take you away as well. When you go to the southwest and suffer, you won't be able to come back. It'll all be your own fault. Take me away? Xin Fan laughed upon hearing this. You rely on the power of a flame technique released from your magic ring? Yun Zhe's face changed instantly upon hearing this, and he asked in a deep voice, who exactly are you? The expressions of the others also changed. Knowing about the flame technique and the magic ring, it was evident that Qin Fan, like them, was not an ordinary person. Qin Fan, have you also been cultivating? Su Jing asked in astonishment, her face full of surprise. Not only her, but Mr. Su and the elderly lady also showed surprise. Qin Fan had lived in the area for many years, he was Su Jing's playmate and friend, so they had seen him many times. In their memory, Qin Fan was just an ordinary person. But now, he appeared to be a practitioner, and facing Yun Zhe, who was so confident at the moment, it was obvious he had something to rely on. Chapter 144, Shall you continue to oppose me? Yunze scrutinized Qin Fan, whose countenance exuded confidence, pondering this young man who had inexplicably appeared here. Apart from his somewhat handsome appearance, this youth seemed utterly unremarkable. Not a trace of the aura of cultivation nor even the martial artist's presence could be discerned. He appears to be nothing more than an ordinary individual, yet he seems intimately acquainted with the cultivation world. Could he be a concealed master? Yunze regarded the composed Qin Fan, feeling a slight surge of vigilance. Didn't I already say it? I am a friend of Su Jing's. I cannot abide seeing her bullied. If you insist on taking her away, then you are opposing me, Qin Fan calmly stated. So, it seems you have some backing? Yunze gazed at Qin Fan solemnly. However, even if you have support, you are but one person. If you have any sense, you would do well to step aside. Otherwise, it's not just you against me but you against our Yuan family and even the 5 major families of the Southwest. Oppose the 5 major families of the Southwest? Then so be it, Qin Fan said indifferently. Young man, you are truly audacious. Do you understand the power of the 5 major families of the Southwest? Once united, even one of the 5 major families of Xia Kingdom would show deference. By insisting on opposing us, you are not only defying me but also our Yuan family. You risk being reduced to ashes by my flames. Yunze's countenance darkened as he listened to Qin Fan's audacious words. Too audacious. Even with backing, this is too much. Oppose the 5 major families of the Southwest? Do you think you're the legitimate heir of one of the 5 major families of Xia Kingdom? Even the Xia Kingdom's 5 major families wouldn't foolishly oppose the 5 major families of the Southwest. With that, he swiftly formed hand seals, conjuring a fiery orb that surpassed its predecessor in intensity. The scorching aura radiating from it sent waves of heat in all directions, forcing others to retreat lest they be scorched. With the fiery orb in hand, Yunze wore a smug smile, his confidence reaching its zenith. He believed that even if the young master of the witch god sect were present, this fiery orb could crush him. Qin Fan, leave now. This doesn't concern you. Su Jing's urgent plea fell on deaf ears. She could feel the terrifying presence of a Taoist master at this moment. For 200 years, our Yuan family has dominated the Southwest with the flame techniques inherited from Mount Huashan. Countless souls have perished under this divine fire. I care not who you are, if you insist on opposing me, then taste the flames of Mount Huashan. Bai Zhe spoke haughtily. Very well, let's see this so-called divine fire of yours, Qin Fan replied calmly. How ignorant. Yunze's expression darkened, and with a swift palm thrust, the basketball-sized fireball hurtled towards Qin Fan. Ah! Su Jing screamed at the sight. Su Hong, an old lady by, looked on with disdain at Qin Fan. What a foolish person, trying to be a hero. Now, not even a bear, but perhaps a dead bear. However, the next moment left everyone in shock. The fireball, instead of exploding upon impact with Qin Fan, was enveloped by a strange force, rendering it harmless. Qin Fan caught the fireball in his hand, not only holding it but also playing with it as if it were a basketball. And this is your Mount Huashan divine fire? Qin Fan chuckled as he flicked the flame ball in his hand, extinguishing it effortlessly. The onlookers, including Yunze, were dumbfounded. To catch the fireball and casually extinguish it, was this still human? Nonetheless, Yunze, a Taoist master at the peak of his powers in the Southwest Yuan family, had seen much in his lifetime. Even witnessing such an inexplicable scene did not shatter his resolve. After all, the opponent was just one person. And this sight only ignited his determination further. Everyone, attack together. If he's a Taoist master, he must fear being approached. And he's just one person. With his declaration, the others snapped out of their stupor. Yes, he's just one person. There's nothing to fear. Instantly, the experts of the innate realm surged forth, heading straight for Qin Fan. Meanwhile, Yunza once again manipulated his powers, weaving flames into a spell this time. Instead of releasing fireballs, he elongated the flames, shaping them into a fiery serpent. The serpent writhed in the air, spewing tongues of flame as it swept towards Qin-fan. Yunza spared no effort, fully showcasing his mastery as a Taoist master. The serpent, as thick as a thigh and stretching 7 to 8 meters long, obeyed his every command. Su Hong and Old Lady Bai realized that Yunza had been holding back before, or else they wouldn't have made it this far. The Yuan family, heirs to Mount Huoshan's legacy, shall end it today, sighed Old Lady Bai. The martial artists of the innate realm exuded formidable auras, causing the ground to tremble and crack beneath their strength. In an instant, the combined assault of the fiery serpent and these experts placed Qin-fan in a deadly predicament. "Qin-fan, be careful!" Su Jing screamed. Qin-fan, seemingly an ordinary person, appeared utterly outmatched against so many experts. "Unless he's a grandmaster, he's doomed," asserted Su Hang. Su Jing, frantic with worry, tears in her eyes, watched Qin-fan intently. "Fire, is it?" Qin-fan chuckled lightly, speaking. As he spoke, he extended his right hand, palm up, upon which appeared a flame of verdant hue. "Green flame." Yunza's eyes widened in astonishment at the sight of the green flame in Qin-fan's hand. Pure green fire. As a master of fire manipulation, Yunza possessed deep understanding of flames. The green flame in Qin-fan's hand was the very fire that the Yuan family had long coveted. "Green lotus fire!" Qin-fan exclaimed. The green flame in his hand bloomed like a lotus, and petals of green fire floated out. As these green lotus petals of fire touched the assailants, they ignited instantly, engulfing the attackers in flames. The innate martial artists writhed on the ground in agony, their screams piercing the air. Upon contact with the green lotus fire petals, the fiery serpent collapsed and vanished without a trace. In an instant, the deadlock crumbled. Qin-fan waved his hand, and the green flames vanished, leaving behind a group of charred, uncertain fates. Yunza, Su Jing, and the others stood dumbfounded. "So, will you continue to oppose me?" Qin-fan stood 3 zhang away from Yunza, calmly posing the question. Chapter 145, Sending Him to Hell. Yunza was utterly dumbfounded, as were Su Jing and the others. Qin-fan effortlessly dispelled the deadlock with a peculiar azure flame spell, leaving the innate martial artists charred like coal and the fiery serpent shattered. Such prowess surpassed even the peak of Grandmaster realm. Now, everyone regarded Qin-fan with sheer astonishment. Indeed, Qin-fan had exerted his full strength. His mid-stage Yuan infant cultivation, if unleashed entirely with the azure flames, could likely turn the surrounding 100 miles to ashes. "Qin-fan, how did you become so formidable?" Su Jing's previously anxious heart settled, her mouth covered in disbelief. She gazed at Qin-fan, wondering if this was truly the same Qin-fan who had once been insecure and melancholic. Su Hong and Old Lady Bai were equally incredulous at the terrifying power Qin-fan displayed. Was he truly the same person? Most horrified of all was Yunza. He had never imagined that this unknown young man before him possessed such extraordinary abilities. And what manner of flame spell was that he had just exhibited? It utterly eclipsed the control of fire for which the Yuan family was renowned. Yunza was now completely befuddled about the man's origins, sensing only an enigmatic master. When did such a monster emerge from Hua Hai? Yunza's heart sank with melancholy. "Though I mentioned sparing your life earlier, if you persist in your folly, I shall send you to your death now," Qin-fan addressed Yunza once more. At his words, a chill ran down Yunza's spine, and his scalp prickled nonetheless. As the head of the Yuan family, he managed to muster a respectful smile and said, "Esteemed master, I concede. I am completely in awe and will not oppose you. I shall take my leave now." With that, he departed, his head bowed and his demeanor crestfallen. Indeed, only the young master of the witch god sect could summon such a formidable expert. "Our efforts have come to naught," he lamented. Qin-fan's hearing was exceptionally acute, catching Yunza's words. He spoke up, "Halt. What do you mean by the young master of the witch god sect?" Yunza was taken aback by Qin-fan's question, regarding him with a strange look. "Aren't you the one sent by the young master of the witch god sect?" "I've said it before, I am a friend of Su Jing's." "Haven't you understood my words?" Qin-fan frowned. Yunza paused for a moment upon hearing Qin-fan's words, then burst into joy and quickly said, "Master, my apologies. I heard Su Jing call you Qin-fan. May I address you as Master Qin?" "Get to the point," Qin-fan said sternly. "Master Qin, it's like this. The witch god sect practices a sinister art known as the witch god technique. Yunza began. Upon hearing this, Su Hong and Old Lady Bai's expressions changed drastically, knowing that things had taken a dire turn. Yet Yunza paid them no mind, revealing everything. The witch god technique involves extracting the essence of young women for cultivation, especially those with unique constitutions like Su Jing. Once in the hands of the young master, they become playthings and tools for cultivation, continuously drained of their essence until they become dried corpses, utterly wretched. Upon hearing this, Su Jing trembled slightly, her face filled with fear as she looked at Su Hong and Old Lady Bai. But Yunza didn't stop there. He continued, "You think death is the end?" No, after becoming dried corpses, the witch god sect has an even more sinister necromancy technique, turning these corpses into corpse puppets, monstrous creations. It can be said that once Su Jing falls into the hands of the young master of the witch god sect, her life will be miserable both alive and dead. I brought Su Jing back to the Yuan family hoping to make her my disciple. I will guide her well. If she were to go to the witch god sect, it would truly be hell. Upon hearing this, Su Jing collapsed in despair, shouting at Su Hong and Old Lady Bai, "How could you be so ruthless?" Su Hong and Old Lady Bai remained silent. "Su Jing, you need not worry. Since I've pledged to help you, I will see it through," Qin Fan said to Su Jing with a calm demeanor. Upon hearing Qin Fan's words, Su Jing's tears turned to smiles, feeling much relieved. "I will send that young master of the witch god sect to his demise," Qin Fan declared. When Yunza mentioned the witch god technique, the sinister practice of extraction, Qin Fan's disgust was palpable. Mutual cultivation should complement and elevate one another, not exploit to the point of death. Such vile practices of extraction were met with his utmost condemnation. Thus, this young master had already made it onto his list of targets. "Qin Fan, don't listen to his nonsense. The young master is a benefactor of our Su family." Old Lady Bai spoke cautiously, her voice trembling. "The Su family? Is Su Jing truly of Su lineage?" "I highly doubt it," Qin Fan said, casting a cold gaze at the old woman. Old Lady Bai immediately felt a surge of guilt and unease. "I will settle accounts with the Su family, but not now," Qin Fan said icily. With his words, Su Hong and Old Lady Bai turned pale with fear and dread. "Master Qin, that young master of the witch god sect is extremely powerful, already at the pinnacle of the Taoist Grandmaster realm. He's just one step away from becoming a Grandmaster. Su Jing is the final piece in his puzzle. A former peak master of the Southwest, ranked 29th on the Earth ranking, was brutally slain by him. We must be cautious," Yunza said, eager to win Qin Fan over. Yunza saw Qin Fan's displayed strength as a worthy contender against the young master of the witch god sect. If he could bring Qin Fan to his side, great things could be achieved. While Yunza pondered, his phone suddenly rang. Answering the call, Yunza's expression changed drastically. "What's wrong?" Qin Fan asked. I really didn't expect it. The young master of the witch god sect has allies here in Huahai. With their help, he broke through the encirclement just now. He'll be here within 2 hours at the latest, Yunza said in shock. Despite the combined efforts of the Southwest families, they couldn't delay him for more than half a day. This was a testament to the terrifying strength of the young master and his allies. Now, even with Master Qin present, victory seemed uncertain. This news gripped Yunza's heart like a vice. Su Hong and Old Lady Bai, however, showed signs of relief and joy upon hearing this news. "What should we do, Qin Fan? The young master is coming?" Su Jing's face was filled with fear as she tightly grasped Qin Fan's hand. She had thought she was saved, but now, it seemed the young master was still coming. "This is perfect. I was just thinking about where to find him. Now that he's come to us, that's even better." "Let's send him to hell," Qin Fan said calmly in response. The origins of the witch god sect. In the courtyard where Su Jing resided, a 8 immortals table was set up. Qin Fan sat at the table, leisurely sipping tea, while Su Jing sat beside him, filled with worry. "Qin Fan, we still have time. Let's escape," Su Jing said firmly to Qin Fan after much internal struggle. "Escape? Why should we flee?" Qin Fan asked Su Jing. "The young master of the witch god sect is coming. It's really dangerous to stay here," Su Jing explained anxiously. Qin Fan chuckled at her words and asked, "Escape? Where do you propose we go?" "Anywhere, we can flee to the mountains, hide where the witch god sect can't find us," Su Jing suggested. Qin Fan shook his head and replied, "Running away never solves the problem. If they are determined, they will eventually find you, it's just a matter of time. Besides, after fleeing, they can easily go after Shinjunjia, Lin Zixuan, and Mo Xiaoxiao, and use them as leverage. Su Jing fell silent upon hearing this. The witch god sect was a terrifying force, and its young master was no benevolent figure. No matter where they fled, they would inevitably be pursued relentlessly. Escape can only temporarily solve the problem, Qin Fan observed, noticing Su Jing's silence and realizing her predicament mirrored his own. He too was evading the pursuit of powerful nascent soul experts. Although he had fled to a distant planet, he knew they would eventually come knocking. It was just a matter of time. That's why he needed to enter the nascent soul stage as soon as possible. Now that he had successfully condensed his nascent soul and reached the mid-nascent soul stage, his next step was to elevate his cultivation while comprehending the will of heaven. Only then could he swiftly advance to the nascent soul stage. If he waited until his nascent soul was fully formed to contemplate the will of heaven, it would be too late. It's all my fault. My special constitution has brought trouble upon you and others, Su Jing lamented. Look at it from another perspective. Your constitution is the dream of many cultivators. If cultivated properly, it will only bring you endless benefits, Qin Fan reassured her. Is that true? Su Jing asked. Of course, Yunza interjected, approaching Su Jing. Why don't you leave? Qin Fan asked Yunza. What's the point of leaving? Even if Su Jing falls into the hands of the witch god sect this time, our Yun family will still be doomed, so it's better to stay and seize any possible opportunity, Yunza explained. Qin Fan smiled but remained silent. If we manage to survive this time, I want to take Su Jing to the southwest, Yunza added. Qin Fan looked at Yunza. Master Qin, rest assured, as long as Su Jing is willing to come with me, I will personally teach her. Not only that, but I will also treat her like my own daughter and ensure she suffers no injustice, Yunza quickly assured. That's something to consider, Qin Fan replied calmly. With Su Jing's delicate constitution, once discovered, she would become a target of covetous eyes. To avoid tragedy, it wasn't enough for Qin Fan to protect her, she needed to grow stronger herself. Therefore, Qin Fan had decided to impart breathing techniques to her. However, staying by his side for cultivation wasn't suitable. Going to the Yun family in the southwest was indeed an option, of course. The precondition was Su Jing's willingness. Go to the southwest? Su Jing hesitated as she listened to the conversation. You don't need to rush to make a decision. You can take your time to consider. It won't be too late for me to resolve the matter with that young master, Qin Fan said calmly. Su Jing nodded. Blatant boasting. At this moment, Su Hong, supporting the injured Shi Qing, suddenly spoke up. Shi Qing was severely wounded but was ultimately Su Jing's foster mother. At Su Jing's request, her life had been spared. That young master of the witch god sect is far more terrifying than you can imagine. Moreover, this time, not only is the young master coming, but people from the Yuan family are also coming. We're doomed, Su Hong said to Qin Fan. The Yuan family from Huahai? Yunza exclaimed in shock. That's right, the Yuan family from Huahai. The ones who helped the young master break free are from the Yuan family, Su Hong explained. Damn it, how could the Yuan family from Huahai join hands with the witch god sect? Yunza cursed. Didn't you know about the situation in Huahai before you came here? Su Hong asked disdainfully. The situation in Huahai? What's going on? Yunza inquired. The Wang family, the top family in Huahai, is backed by the Xianling sect and also cooperates with the Huatian sect. It can be said that they are flourishing. As the second largest family, the Yuan family is bound to become the fat to be slaughtered by the Wang family sooner or later. However, the Yuan family won't sit idly by. They have contacted forces outside of Huahai, and one of these forces is the witch god sect, Su Hong explained. Yunza's face turned pale upon hearing this and he exclaimed loudly, how foolish. Aligning with the witch god sect is akin to courting death. What do you mean? Qin Fan asked casually upon hearing this. Master Qin, you may not know, but if the witch god sect can collaborate, why shouldn't we? We are only enemies with them because it's impossible to cooperate with them. Once you collaborate with them, the end result will only be being swallowed up by the witch god sect and becoming their dog, Yunza explained. Qin Fan furrowed his brows upon hearing this and asked, what is the origin of the witch god sect? Qin Fan had heard of the witch clan, practicing curses and necromancy. Was the Witch God sect related to this witch clan? The origins of the Witch God sect can be traced back over 2,000 years ago. At that time, there was an event called the catastrophe of witchcraft in that dynasty, which almost led to the downfall of the dynasty. Afterward, almost all the witchcraft practitioners were exterminated, but some lucky ones managed to escape and flee beyond the borders of the Xia Empire, escaping to the southwest, now known as the Mian country. The Witch God sect took root and flourished there. Over 100 years ago, when Xia was invaded by foreign powers and the people suffered, the Witch God sect took advantage of the opportunity to return to Xia. At that time, just by offering a little gruel, they could attract a large number of followers. So the Witch God sect flourished again in the southwest of Xia. After Xia expelled the foreign powers, the Witch God sect had already taken deep root in the southwest, making it difficult to eradicate, and thus it was accepted as a local belief. The Su family is a village that believes in witch gods. The reason they are here is probably that they made a big mistake and fled to Huahai. The Su family probably wants to exchange Su Jing to return to the southwest. But they don't know that the Witch God sect is ruthless. Even if the Su family offers Su Jing, they won't get any benefits. At most, they will become slaves. As for cooperation, it's simply wishful thinking. If you want to cooperate with the Witch God sect, you must believe in the witch gods. In the end, you'll just become a slave of the Witch God sect. Therefore, cooperating with the Witch God sect is tantamount to seeking death. Yunze then explained everything about the Witch God sect to Qin Fan. Su Jing's face turned pale as she listened, while the Su family members lowered their heads. There was no doubt that what Yunze said was correct. Can you tell me who my biological parents are? Su Jing finally asked the others. We don't know either. You were found by us. It's just that we didn't expect your special constitution to catch the eye of the Witch King, so we temporarily took care of you, Su Hong sighed and explained. Su Jing fell into silence upon hearing this. I do have a guess, Yunze suddenly said. What's your guess? Qin Fan asked. Su Jing is likely from the Yu family, Yunze said. Which Yu family? Su Jing immediately asked. There used to be 6 major families in the southwest instead of 5. One of them was the Yu family. The Yu family had a characteristic that, possibly due to bloodline reasons, often gave birth to women with exceptionally high cultivation aptitude, similar to Su Jing's constitution. So, I speculate that Su Jing might be a descendant of the Yu family, Yunze explained. A descendant? Are you saying everyone from the Yu family died? Su Jing asked with a touch of desolation. I'm not sure if they all died, but the Yu family disappeared completely from the southwest over 20 years ago, Yunze sighed. How did the Yu family perish? Qin Fan actually had a suspicion in mind, but he still asked. Naturally, they were annihilated by the Witch God sect. With the witchcraft practiced by the Witch God sect, how could they spare the peculiar women of the Yu family? Yunze replied immediately at that time. Did your 5 families just stand by and watch? Qin Fan asked disdainfully. When the Witch God sect attacked the Yu family, we were thinking about how to divide the Yu family's assets. Who knew that not only did we not gain any benefits, but we also helped the Witch God sect grow larger? Since then, the Witch God sect has become dominant, and our 5 families have become the fat to be slaughtered by the Witch God sect at any time. Otherwise, why would we risk coming to Huahai tonight? Yunze said with a bitter smile. You don't even understand the principle of mutual dependence. You brought it on yourselves, Qin Fan said contemptuously. Yunze could only show an embarrassed expression. What's the use of saying so much now? When the young master and the people from the Yuan family arrive, we're all going to die, the usually silent Granny Bai spoke up. The young master wants to kill even you guys? Su Jing asked in surprise. Aren't you working for him? We failed, so all we can do is wait for death, Su Hong sighed. This Witch God sect and that young master are truly despicable. Su Jing, who was usually gentle, couldn't help but curse. Her resentment towards the Witch God sect had almost reached its peak. How could there be such a detestable organization in the world? Then let it be as you say. Let them die. Not only that young master, but I'll also exterminate the Witch God sect, Qin Fan said calmly after taking a sip of tea. Yunze and Granny Bai looked at Qin Fan, feeling that he was too confident, even thinking he was bluffing. Killing the young master might be possible, but wiping out the Witch God sect in Xia was extremely difficult. Because nobody knew where the headquarters of the witch god sect in Xia was, let alone its true headquarters in Neon Country. After speaking, Qin looked towards the door. At this moment, his spiritual sense sensed that a convoy was approaching from afar. The young master he had been waiting for had arrived. Outside, the convoy came to a silent stop nearby. The back door of the lead Maybach opened, and a young man in his early 30s stepped out. He was dressed in a suit and tie, with a fair and delicate appearance, resembling a young aristocrat. However, there was a chilling aura emanating from him, even bordering on malevolence, which sharply contrasted with his current attire. "Young Master Witch, the place you're looking for is up ahead," a man in his 50s approached the young man after he got out of the car and said. This man was Yuan Honlai, the current head of the Yuan family. With the rise of the Wang family to prominence, the Yuan family had sensed the impending crisis. In order to save themselves, they had chosen to cooperate with the witch god sect. Among the reasons for this cooperation was the exceptional talent of the young witch master, who would soon reach the level of grandmaster in Taoism. By then, with the witch king and the young witch master, the witch god sect would have 2 grandmasters in Taoism. This strength would be enough for the Yuan family to resist the Wang family in Huahai. Of course, the Yuan family had paid a considerable price for this. For example, they had offered the women of the Yuan family to the young witch master for his cultivation, and the witch god sect would establish a branch in Huahai City. However, all of this was still preferable to being completely consumed by the Wang family. According to the information sent by Su Hong, they were kidnapped here by someone named Master Qin. "Yuan Honlai, have you heard of this Master Qin?" the young witch master asked. "I've heard a little about him. He's a rising figure in the Jiangnan region recently, causing the big shots in Jiangnan to bow down, but compared to the young witch master, he's just a country bumpkin from Jiangnan, not worth mentioning," Yuan Honlai replied. "Well said. How dare a country bumpkin ruin my plans? He doesn't know the immensity of heaven and earth. I'll make him taste what it's like to wish for death," the young witch master sneered. Of course. Such a Jiangnan bumpkin wouldn't know the greatness of the young witch master, Yuan Honlai chuckled. Not long ago, he had witnessed the methods of the young witch master. They were truly terrifying. Those who had obstructed him had suffered torture akin to the most brutal in the world. They were better off dead. Now, they were locked up in the Yuan family, enduring this agonizing torment. Thinking of this, Yuan Honlai felt fortunate that he hadn't cooperated with Master Qin before. Now, he could only mourn deeply for Master Qin. "Let's go," the young witch master waved his hand and spoke. Then, the doors of the cars behind him opened one by one, and 5 figures in black cloaks stepped out. Seeing this scene, Yuan Honlai took a deep breath, his scalp tingling. These were all undead puppets cultivated by the young witch master. Each one was powerful. Among them, there was a figure nearly 2 meters tall, with an extremely robust build. This figure had once been a peak grandmaster in the master realm, ranked 29th on the Earth rankings. However, it had been slain by the young witch master and then refined into an undead puppet using the mysterious methods of the witch god sect. Its strength was terrifying. In addition to the other undead puppets, along with the young witch master, even if Master Qin was a peak grandmaster, he would have no chance. "Master Qin, I've arrived. Do you dare to come out and meet me?" Soon, the young witch master, accompanied by Yuan Honlai and a group of black-cloaked figures, arrived in front of the gate of the courtyard and spoke loudly. This was a remote area of Huahai, surrounded by many farmlands. It was just past 5 in the morning, and there were no onlookers around. As the words fell, Su Hong walked out tremblingly, opened the gate, and said to the young witch master, "He's waiting for you inside." "I've allowed you to sit down?" However, at this moment, Qin Fan's icy voice rang out. Chapter 148, Puppet of the Dead. Upon Qin Fan's words, everyone was stunned. Especially the young master of the witches. His smile froze instantly, and his halfway seated posture became somewhat ludicrous. "What did you say?" the young witch master asked sharply, fixing his gaze on Qin Fan. "Su Hong, didn't you convey my message to him?" Qin Fan inquired. I. Su Hong stammered at the words, his face filled with fear. "What did he say?" The young witch master pressed Su Hong under the intense gaze of the young witch master. Su Hong became even more flustered, unable to speak. The words Qin Fan brought were utterly audacious. "Now, kneel down and accept your death. I can make it a swift one for you," Qin Fan said coldly. Upon hearing this, the young witch master paused for a moment, then burst into laughter, evidently amused to the point of reversing his anger. I once thought Master Qin from Jiangnan was someone noteworthy. However, it turns out he is merely a fool. Truly, young Yuan has underestimated him, remarked Yuan Honlai beside them, sneering at Qin Fan. Initially, he had some anticipation to meet Master Qin, to see what sort of hero could make the bigwigs of Jiangnan bow their heads. But now, what nonsense was being spoken? From the very first sentence uttered, this Master Qin appeared excessively naive. And the current dialogue was even more foolish. Was such a character worthy of being called Master Qin? Worthy of making the big shots of Jiangnan bow their heads? Indeed, everyone from Jiangnan was a country bumpkin. The young witch master couldn't contain his laughter, almost bending over, as he continued, "You speak well initially. I thought if you obediently handed over this woman to me, I wouldn't torture you. But now, not only will I torture you to death, but I will also torture everyone you know to death, then refine each one into a puppet of the dead, ensuring you'll never find peace in the afterlife." As he finished, the young witch master's handsome face twisted into a grotesque expression, then he bellowed, "Seize him." At that moment, a figure in black robes behind him leaped forward, lunging towards Qin Fan. "You seek death." Just then, Yunzhe rushed out from the side. With a swift hand gesture, he conjured a fireball the size of a cannonball, hurling it towards the black-robed assailant. Boom! The fireball struck the black-robed figure, exploding instantly. The force pushed the figure back several steps, while flames engulfed him, burning away his robes to reveal his true form. What monstrosity is this? Su Jing exclaimed upon seeing the true face of the black-robed figure. The figure's face was pallid, devoid of any vitality. His eyes were empty sockets, and what was most terrifying was his rotting jaw, exposing broken teeth. Unfazed by the flames consuming him, he charged towards Yunzhe, akin to a powerful fire elemental. With a raised fist, he struck with formidable strength, displaying the stance of a martial artist. Facing this punch, Yunzhe dared not be negligent, swiftly evading it, narrowly dodging the attack. At that moment, the flames covering his body extinguished completely due to lack of fuel, revealing his form. "This is a lich, a creature from the realm of gaming," Su Jing exclaimed upon seeing the true form of the black-robed figure, immediately associating it with various undead monsters encountered in games. Though his skin was pale, showing signs of decay in many places, it exuded a potent aura of power. "Indeed, this is a zombie, but we call it a puppet of the dead. If you fall into the hands of this young master, your ultimate fate will be to become such a creature," Yunzhe spoke solemnly, his eyes fixed on the puppet of the dead before him. Upon hearing this, Su Jing covered her mouth, gazing at the puppet of the dead in horror, realizing that if she fell into the hands of the witch god sect, she would eventually become such a creature. "Master of the Yuan family, you seem to know a lot. This is my number one puppet of the dead. He was once a master of Thai boxing, reaching the pinnacle of innate strength. In the end, he fell into my hands, tortured to death, and then became my most faithful puppet of the dead," the young witch master remarked, a cold smirk on his face. "After being refined into a puppet of the dead, their strength will only decrease. A puppet of the dead, even at the pinnacle of innate strength, cannot harm me," Yunzhe said coldly. These warriors turned into puppets of the dead naturally could not retain their original strength. Instead, their strength decreased by 40%. Not to mention puppets of the dead at the pinnacle of innate strength, even those at the Grandmaster level could not threaten Yunzhe. "One is not enough, then two, if two are not enough, then three. Bring them to me," the young witch master snarled, once again speaking. As his words fell, 3 more black-robed figures rushed out. In an instant, 4 puppets of the dead besieged Yunzhe. Yunzhe, a veteran martial artist and a master of Taoist arts, remained calm and composed despite facing the siege of these 4 puppets of the dead. He moved gracefully, evading their attacks with skillful footwork. This was the Yuan family's body technique, the cloud-flashing step. Meanwhile, his hands did not pause, continuously forming hand seals, unleashing a prolonged spell. Hiss! A sound akin to a serpent's hiss rang out, followed by a massive fire serpent roaring forth. The serpent, as thick as a thigh and about 7 to 8 meters long, danced in the void, biting or sweeping at the puppets of the dead, igniting them, repelling them. However, after a few minutes, Yunzhe managed to fend off the 4 puppets of the dead, but he stood there panting heavily, evidently struggling to deal with them. Clap, clap, clap. The young witch master immediately applauded, saying, "Well done, very well done. You truly deserve to be the head of the Yuan family. Despite facing the siege of my 4 puppets of the dead, you managed to hold your ground. I must commend you. No more idle chatter, let the last one strike." Yunzhe stared at the last black-robed puppet of the dead. Very well, as you wish, Pujuan, attack, the young witch master sneered, opening his mouth. In an instant, the puppet of the dead known as Pujuan took a step forward. Boom! A terrifying roar sounded, then it shot towards Yunzei like a cannonball. Yunzei's expression changed drastically. He moved instantly, employing the cloud flashing step, his body swiftly dodging aside, cleverly avoiding Pujuan's attack. At the same time, his right hand formed hand seals, conjuring a fireball the size of a basketball, which smashed towards Pujuan like a cannonball. Boom! The fireball struck Pujuan, exploding with a deafening blast. A huge pillar of fire erupted, engulfing Pujuan, drowning it in roaring flames. Seeing this scene, Yunzei knew he had succeeded, revealing a smug smile. Yet, his smile froze the next moment. Pujuan had not been pushed back by the fireball. Instead, engulfed in flames, it charged out like a terrifying bull from the pillar of fire, closing in on Yunzei with thunderous momentum. Then, with terrifying force, it threw a punch towards Yunzei. Although Yunzei reacted quickly and dodged the vital points, he was still hit by the punch. Bang! A dull sound echoed as Yunzei was sent flying, crashing into the wall repeatedly, smashing it to pieces. He fell to the ground, coughing violently, his eyes glaring red at Pujuan, whose imposing figure stood not far away. Pujuan, ranked 29 Grandmaster Peak Martial Artist in place. The young witch master spoke leisurely. I wonder, Master Qin, what do you think of my puppet of the dead? Chapter 149, Banner of the Ghost Witches. Pujuan. The young witch master grinned at Qin Fan. He was once ranked 29th on the Earth list as a Grandmaster Peak. After provoking me and being slain by me, he was turned into a puppet of the dead Master Qin. What do you think? Qin Fan's gaze fell upon Pujuan. This Pujuan was completely different from other puppets of the dead. His entire body was not pale but jet black like iron, with a robust stature, standing there like a black iron man exuding an overwhelming pressure. Pujuan was a master of physical refinement, with terrifying fleshly strength. After being killed by me, I used some small methods to pour molten black iron over him, casting him into this unyielding appearance. Master Qin, do you have any means to deal with him? The young witch master grew more and more pleased with himself as he spoke. Indeed, the young witch master is ingenious. This Pujuan seems impervious even to heavy artillery bombardment. Yuan Honlai applauded. Su Jing looked at Pujuan with fear, trembling. To be poured with molten black iron, yet the flesh remained intact, transforming into a black iron figure. What kind of physique was this? It was simply monstrous. At this moment, Yunzei walked back to Qin Fan's side, holding his stomach, and said to Qin Fan, Master Qin, Pujuan was already formidable before, and I was no match for him. Now, as a puppet of the dead with a body of black iron, my flames are utterly useless. I am definitely not his opponent now. Upon hearing Yunzei's words, the young witch master laughed even more triumphantly. Master Qin, now kneel down and bow to accept your death. I may consider giving you a swift demise. Fire is useless? That's because your fire is useless. Let me show you what true flames are, Qin Fan said calmly. After speaking, he opened his right hand, and a green flame appeared. A green flame. Is this kid also a fire-controlling master? The young witch master's face changed upon seeing the green flame in Qin Fan's hand. Pujuan, attack. In the next moment, Pujuan charged towards Qin Fan like a wild beast. At that moment, Qin Fan flicked his fingers, and the green flame instantly turned into a streak of green light. Boom. In an instant, the green light fell upon Pujuan's body, and then the green flame burst forth fiercely, engulfing Pujuan's entire body. At that moment, Pujuan stopped in his tracks, like a fiery figure burning with green flames. Pujuan struggled to break free from the flames, emitting low growls, but his body couldn't move at all, allowing the green flames to burn fiercely. And this process lasted only for more than 10 seconds before the green flames disappeared, leaving not only the green flames but also Pujuan completely vanished into ashes. Everyone stared dumbfoundedly at this scene. The one who claimed to be impervious to blades and spears, rendered the flames utterly useless. Pujuan was burned to ashes in just a few seconds. Fire useless? Qin Fan asked calmly. This. Yunzei was so shocked that he couldn't speak. This Master Qin's strength is truly unfathomable. He spared no effort this time. Unlike before with Qingyan, those innate martial artists who were burned before were actually just severely injured and managed to preserve their lives. But now, in just a dozen seconds, he turned Pujuan into ashes. It seems he wasn't exerting his full power before. Master Qin, could he already be a grandmaster, or even further along the grandmaster path? Yun Zhe was astonished. Yuan Holia's eyes widened in shock. Is this Master Qin really this formidable? He burned Pujuan into ashes in an instant, leaving nothing behind. Could it be that this Master Qin isn't foolish, but possesses such immense power that he speaks so boldly? Yuan Honlai suddenly realized something. You! The young witch master's eyes turned bloodshot upon seeing his most powerful puppet vanish into thin air. I'll kill you. I will definitely turn you into a puppet of the dead. Pujuan cost him a great deal to be turned into a puppet, but in an instant, Qin Fan burned him to ashes. It was as if his favorite possession had been snatched away from him, fueling his raging fury in an instant. The young witch master drew a black flag 20 centimeters long from his chest. Oh no, it's the ghost witch flag of the witch cult. Stop him! Yun Zhe immediately shouted upon seeing the flag. And at that moment, he lunged forward. However, due to his injuries, his movements were noticeably slower. As soon as the flag appeared, a terrifying wail filled the air, carrying endless resentment. With these mournful cries, countless shadows flew out from the flag, madly traversing the void. It's over, it's all over. This is the witch cult's treasured ghost witch flag. Once activated, it will summon countless spirits, turning everything within 10 miles into a ghostly hell, depriving all living beings of their vitality, ultimately turning them into corpses. Yun Zhe's heart sank in despair, bitterness evident in his words. Hearing Yun Zhe's words, everyone's faces turned pale with fear. Even Yuan Honlai was trembling with fear. This thing doesn't distinguish between friend and foe, it devours all life, and eventually, all living beings perish within it. Earlier, when members of the Yuan family went to rescue the young witch master, many died because of this flag. I didn't expect to find such an artifact resembling the soul banner on Earth, Qin Fan remarked with slight surprise upon seeing this scene. The soul banner absorbs the souls of the deceased, refining them into vengeful spirits. Once released, these spirits will continuously devour vitality, turning everything around into a land of death. This is an artifact of the Yuaniing stage in the cultivation world, and an extremely vicious one. It requires the slaughter of millions of living beings to refine and let them die in resentment. The method used to refine this ghost witch flag is similar to that of the soul banner, except that it is much less powerful. If it were the soul banner, Qin Fan would have found it troublesome. I will refine your soul into the ghost witch flag, subjecting you to endless torment, turning you into a vengeful spirit. And your flesh will be infused with molten iron, becoming an iron corpse. From now on, you will never transcend life. The young witch master brandished the flag, revealing a fierce expression. As his words fell, a piercing shriek echoed as the countless spirits seemed to be summoned, rushing toward Qin Fan. Master Qin, take Su Jing and leave quickly. I'll hold him back. Yun Zhe suddenly shouted at this moment. And as he spoke, flames suddenly ignited all over his body. What are you doing? Qin Fan turned to look at Yun Zhe, puzzled. Was he preparing to self-immolate? Burning divine fire, incinerating my remnants. For righteousness and against evil, for the sake of the god of fire. The fire god's sky incineration formation. With a roar, Yun Zhe's ring emitted a dazzling crimson light. Chapter 150, Azure Flame Inferno. The fire god incineration formation. Yun Zhe roared, engulfed in crimson flames, forming seals with his hands, the ring in his grasp emitting dazzling firelight. Waves of flames, centered around Yun Zhe, surged from all directions, shaping into an encircling wall of fire, shielding Qin Fan, Su Jing, and the others. Seeing the emergence of the firewall, the specters instantly retreated, fearing the scorching heat. Yun Zhe, your prowess is truly admirable, to wield such formidable Dao techniques. I am impressed, the witch lord rasped with a ghostly tone in the face of the burning barrier. However, it's a pity that you cannot sustain such spells for long. Let me calculate, 1 minute, 2 minutes, or perhaps 3, he taunted. As long as you cannot endure, the formation will collapse, and then you will be devoured by myriad ghosts, becoming lifeless corpses. The witch lord laughed maniacally, exuding immense satisfaction. The Azure Flame Inferno is formidable, Yun family's ace in the hole, but unfortunately, it requires burning all of one's essence, a feat Yun's cultivation cannot support for long. In his view, at most 3 minutes, Yun would have to cease, or risk sustaining irreparable injuries. Master Qin, leave quickly, I truly cannot hold on much longer, Yun implored Qin Fan, take Su Jing and depart swiftly, or there will be no chance of survival. Hearing this, Su Jing tightly grasped Xin Fan's hand, finding solace only in that. What are you doing? Incinerating yourself? Xin Fan looked at Yunze in bewilderment. Upon hearing Xin Fan's words, the others nearly spewed blood. Isn't he sacrificing himself to save you? How can he ask, "What are you doing?" and talk about self-incineration? Can't you see the situation? Master Qin, the Ghost Witch banner, passed down through generations in the Witch God sect for 2,000 years, contains specters nourished for hundreds or even thousands of years, terrifying beyond measure. What I am currently employing is the strongest technique inherited from the Fire God, using the combustion of my own essence as a medium, capable of subduing all manner of evil spirits in the world. Only through this method can we overcome these specters and carve out an escape route for you. As long as you lead Su Jing out of here, the Witch Lord will be powerless against you. Yunze could only explain again, urging Xin Fan to depart swiftly. Haha, escape from here? With your immature Dao techniques, don't indulge in wishful thinking, the Witch Lord continued to laugh hysterically. This time, all of you will perish here. Noisy! Xin Fan's response to the Witch Lord's voice was a cold snort as he spoke, his right hand gestured, conjuring azure flames once more, shaping into a verdant flame lotus. The lotus blossomed, its verdant petals sweeping through the void. The specters immediately emitted fearful shrieks and fled madly. Those who couldn't escape in time, touched by the lotus petals, were instantly ignited, consumed by smoke and dispersed. In just a moment, the entire ghostly hell was burnt with a massive hole, and under the azure flames, everyone could see everything about the Witch Lord. At this moment, he held a jet-black flag, upon which countless ghost faces appeared, as if imprisoning countless souls. Yet these souls, upon contact with the azure flames, vanished instantly. How is this possible? Why can your flames incinerate the essence of ghosts? This is impossible, the Witch Lord screamed. Ghosts are not substantial entities, they can evade Yunze's flames due to their scorching aura. Even if engulfed by flames, they wouldn't harm their essence, and would only need to return to the flag for some time to recover. However, Xin Fan's azure flames burned the very essence of the ghosts instantly. This revelation shook him to his core. He had believed, as the Witch God had said, that there was no way to destroy the essence of ghosts. Now, faced with this reality, he felt a sense of retreat. If he didn't retreat, he would be in danger. Not only that, but he feared the flag itself might be destroyed. Witnessing this scene, Yunze was also stunned. He quickly retracted his feeble spells and sat on the ground gasping for air, evidently exhausted. I've said before, since he refuses to kneel and accept death, I'll let him experience what it means to wish for death. Not only will he wish for death, but I will also exterminate the Witch God sect. Xin Fan's disdainful gaze fell upon the collapsed Yunze. Upon hearing Xin Fan and Yunze's conversation, the Witch Lord's eyes bulged with bloodshot fury. Once a renowned figure in the southwest, today he was subjected to such humiliation. Initially considering fleeing upon witnessing Xin Fan's terrifying azure flames, Xin Fan's words ignited his fury, erasing any thought of escape. Not only did Xin Fan wish for him to suffer, but he also aimed to annihilate the Witch God sect, a humiliation he could not bear. Suddenly, the Witch Lord raised the flag in his hand. In the next instant, the sharp end of the flagpole pierced into his chest, and blood slowly flowed out. This blood seemed to have a life of its own, crawling along the flagpole, slowly dyeing the flag black-red. The originally pitch-black flag turned black-red at this moment, emitting a sinister black-red glow. Bloody essence in raging ghosts. Xin Fan observed this scene with slight surprise. This was a method of the Witch Clan. The blood of cultivators contained powerful energy. By using blood to enrage ghosts, they would become utterly berserk, terrifyingly enhancing their power several times or even dozens of times. However, this method consumed essence blood and would severely damage the cultivator's vitality. In severe cases, it could lead to death, while in milder cases, it would cause a regression in cultivation. Therefore, this method was not used unless absolutely necessary. Xin Fan hadn't expected to encounter it on Earth. It was somewhat unexpected. Could it be that the Witch God sect was truly related to the Witch Clan? Ha, even if you're a Grandmaster, today, you'll have no way out. You can only wait to be devoured by the ghosts I've raised. The Witch Lord, using his last trump card, became extremely manic. He had staked everything on this, intending to kill Xin Fan right here and now. Woo woo woo. As the Witch Lord continuously fed the flag with his blood, the ghosts seemed to be activated instantly, emitting terrifying screams. At this moment, the strength of these ghosts surged several times, filling the sky and blocking the previously created hole. In an instant, it felt as if all light had been swallowed by these ghosts, and the surroundings plunged into eternal darkness. At this moment, everyone felt their vitality rapidly draining away, as if death would descend in the next moment. Witch Lord, please. Save us. Yuan Honlai, weakly sitting on the ground, pleaded with the Witch Lord. He had accompanied them, intending to curry favor, but now, it seemed like he was offering his life. I've said it before, we're all going to die. Su Hong was completely hopeless. Master Qin. Yunze shouted in despair towards Qin Fan. I feel so uncomfortable. Su Jing grabbed Qin Fan's hand, her face pale and bloodless, feeling weak all over, her consciousness becoming increasingly blurred. She murmured, "Forget it, I'm willing to die with Qin Fan." At this moment, Qin Fan spoke up, "Didn't you ask me why my azure flames can incinerate ghosts?" Why? The Witch Lord also seemed somewhat curious. Because my azure flames can burn through hell itself, Qin Fan said lightly. At the moment his words fell, a cyan dragon of fire roared out. Chapter 151, Embarking on behalf of the Witch God Sect. In the outskirts of Huahai City, an area shrouded in darkness resembles an inverted black giant bull. From within emanates a chorus of terrifying wails, so frightful that anyone passing by is immediately frightened away upon witnessing this scene. Within the darkness, countless specters dance and howl in the void, emitting waves of chilling deathly aura, continuously devouring the vitality of living beings within. The vitality of living beings contains vast vitality and spiritual energy, serving as the optimal nourishment for specters, especially for cultivators as formidable as Qin Fan. To these specters, it is akin to an unparalleled delicacy. The witch young master, originally confident of victory, is now utterly stupefied. Similarly, Yunze, Yuan Honlai, and others are completely dumbfounded, witnessing an unforgettable scene. They see Qin Fan releasing a cyan flame, which suddenly blooms into a cyan dragon, soaring magnificently. The cyan dragon, colossal with a thickness of 3 meters and a length of over 10 meters, dances in the air, emitting a deep dragon chant with a sweep of its massive body. All specters instantly disperse like smoke. And the black void, akin to a curtain, constantly fractures and then shatters under the cyan dragon, dissipating into nothingness. In just an instant, all the specters are swept away by the cyan dragon. The Celestial Fire Formation. This is Qin Fan's Qingyan Celestial Fire technique, capable of summoning 36 Qingyan Celestial Dragons, capable of burning the heavens and the earth. However, where is the need for 36 dragons now? Even one is more than sufficient. This. Yunze is so shocked by the sight of the cyan dragon that he is rendered speechless. These are terrifying specters nurtured within the ghost witch flag with blood essence for hundreds, even thousands of years. Yet, they have all been swept away just like that. And this Qingyan transformation dragon, what a terrifying and astonishing method it is burning specters with the flames of hell. This is the legendary hellfire. As for controlling the fire, what the Cloud family does, in front of Master Qin, is nothing but child's play. Su Hong and Elder Bai are utterly dumbfounded. They can understand the spells cast by the witch young master, sophisticated Dao techniques combined with extraordinary artifacts. But Qin Fan. What is this? Summoning a cyan fire dragon out of thin air? This is simply beyond their comprehension. Qin Fan, is he a deity? Su Jing murmurs in astonishment. With Master Qin's prowess, why bother seeking help from afar? Just clinging to his thigh would suffice to deal with the Wang family. Yuan Honlai, witnessing this scene, feels regret piercing through him. He had considered teaming up with Master Qin from Jiangnan to deal with the Wang family, but in his view, the Jiangnan Master Qin was nothing but an inconsequential figure. But now, this Master Qin reveals the ability to summon dragons with ease, a truly heaven-defying technique. This is not just any Master Qin, he is practically invincible. Now Yuan Honlai deeply regrets not paying a visit to Master Qin in Jiangnan earlier. As for the witch young master, he is already kneeling on the ground, his face filled with fear as he gazes at Qin Fan, who remains seated. He knows he has encountered a true deity. A sense of danger overwhelms him, prompting him to kneel directly. Now you realize the need to kneel? Unfortunately, it's too late. Qin Fan gazed at the trembling witch young master with a cold smirk before speaking. Master Qin, I actually have no conflict with you. As for Su Jing, I have no interest in her. Not only that, I can find 10, even 100 women like her for you. As long as you spare me, I can offer you ample compensation. The witch god sect wields great influence in the southwest and possesses abundant wealth, more than enough to compensate you fully. Moreover, if you spare me, you will be honored as a distinguished guest of our witch god sect. When the time comes, whatever requests Master Qin makes, we will not hesitate to fulfill. The witch young master, upon hearing this, immediately pleaded loudly to Qin Fan. His sole desire now was to survive. As long as he could survive, he still had a chance, even if he had to grovel like a dog before Qin Fan. As long as he could return to the witch god sect alive, he still had hope. Listening to the witch young master's words, Qin Fan couldn't help but chuckle. "Are you trying to threaten me?" he asked. The witch young master proceeded to inform Qin Fan about the strength of the witch god sect and how they could potentially assist him. However, in reality, he was hinting at the immense power of the witch god sect, urging Qin Fan to weigh the pros and cons. If he killed him, he would be making enemies with the formidable witch god sect. "I absolutely have no such intention," the witch young master hurriedly clarified. "I just want to tell Master Qin that as long as you release me, you can gain more benefits. Besides, our enmity is only over a woman. But I know, to someone as powerful as Master Qin, women are mere playthings. In my eyes, it's the same. Why should we fight to the death over a plaything and bear a lifelong grudge?" As the witch young master continued to speak, he eloquently analyzed the situation for Qin Fan, trying to persuade him. Su Jing trembled upon hearing these words, for the witch god sect's most terrifying aspect was its curses. If the witch young master died, once the witch king lost his reason, ordinary people like Shen Junjie, Lin Zixuan, and Mo Xiaoxiao would truly be in danger. "Qin Fan, perhaps it's better to let it go," Su Jing suggested. Meanwhile, Yunze, listening on the sidelines, couldn't help but waver in his heart. He even secretly admired the witch young master, recognizing him not only for his strength but also for his shrewdness. However, he knew that individuals like him must not be spared. "Master Qin, you cannot let him go. Once you do, he will surely seek revenge. It's no different from killing him," Yunze advised. "Master Qin, rest assured, as long as you spare me, I will never seek revenge," the witch young master pleaded to Qin Fan, his eyes filled with sincerity. "I can even swear to the witch god." As he finished speaking, the witch young master looked at Qin Fan, his gaze sincere. The entire scene fell into a deathly silence, awaiting Qin Fan's decision. Qin Fan stood up at this moment and approached the witch young master. "Then, you shall go on behalf of me to the witch god sect," he declared. The witch young master was momentarily puzzled, but before he could comprehend, Qin Fan's hand pressed against his head, and an enigmatic force surged into him in an instant. The witch young master felt his consciousness blur, unable to even distinguish who he was. However, this process was brief, and he soon regained his senses. "Master Qin, what did you just do?" the witch young master asked, bewildered. "You may leave now." "If you don't leave soon, then stay," Qin Fan replied calmly. Upon hearing this, the witch young master fled in panic. Chapter 152, Do you think I'm just saying? Master Qin, letting him go will surely lead to endless troubles. Yunze, seeing Qin Fan actually releasing the witch young master, became frantic and repeatedly exclaimed, "That witch young master is no good character. After returning, he will definitely not let today's events go unpunished. The witch god sect will surely come back to seek revenge, causing much trouble for many experts." Qin Fan smiled at Yunze and said, "When I said I would kill him and annihilate the entire witch god sect, did you think I was just saying?" Yunze was stunned at his words and then asked, "Does that mean, Master Qin, you still have a trick up your sleeve?" Qin Fan remained silent with a smile and then turned to Yuan Honlai, who had not yet left. Yunze frowned upon seeing this, refraining from speaking further. Master Qin, I am Yuan Honlai, the head of the Yuan family in Huahai." Yuan Honlai felt Qin Fan's gaze and spoke cautiously. "Speak," Qin Fan said. "I want to cooperate with Master Qin to fight against the Wang family." Yuan Honlai gritted his teeth. "You, Yuan family, are only fit to be my dogs," Qin Fan said coldly. Yuan Honlai trembled at his words. "Cooperate? That's only possible when both sides have equal status. The Yuan family may be powerful in Huahai, but compared to the witch god sect, what are they?" The entire Yuan family was easily controlled by the witch young master, while Qin Fan's strength could easily crush the witch young master. The Yuan family had no qualifications to negotiate cooperation with Qin Fan. At best, they were only fit to be Qin Fan's dogs. "Master Qin, our Yuan family is the second largest family in Huahai. If Master Qin is willing to cooperate with me, it will bring you various benefits, and we are sincerely willing to cooperate." Yuan Honlai tried to persuade Qin Fan again. If you're not willing to be a dog, then get lost. Qin Fan waved his hand, unwilling to waste any more time. He couldn't be bothered with people like this. To him, having one more or one less dog in Huahai made no difference. Upon hearing this, Yuan Honlai glanced resentfully at Qin Fan and then left. Since the other party let the witch young master go, it was like releasing a tiger back to the mountain. The witch god sect would surely rise again, so there was no need to be Qin Fan's dog. After Yuan Honlai left, Su Jing hesitated and walked over slowly. Why, afraid of me? Qin Fan looked at the hesitant Su Jing and asked. You suddenly became so powerful, I feel like I don't even know you anymore. Su Jing hesitated for a moment before saying. You can treat me as a different person, but when I said you're my friend and I would help you if you're in danger, those words still count, Qin Fan smiled and said. Upon hearing this, Su Jing immediately breathed a sigh of relief. Qin Fan was just joking with her. She looked at Qin Fan and said with a slight glare, What do you mean by treating you as a different person? You're the Qin Fan I know. Qin Fan smiled at her words and then said, The matter is resolved. What are your plans for the future? Just now I thought about it. I want to go to the southwest with Master Yuan to find my biological parents, Su Jing spoke up, and then? Qin Fan asked. You were right. My unique physique might attract ill-intentioned people and bring danger, but if used properly, it can also bring endless benefits. So, I want to cultivate, Su Jing said firmly. Correct, those who help themselves will be aided by the heavens, Qin Fan nodded. Moreover, I can only catch up with your footsteps by cultivating, Su Jing smiled and said. Qin Fan chuckled at her words, Since you're going to cultivate, I'll pass on a set of techniques to you. With that, Qin Fan's consciousness swept into Su Jing's mind. Instantly, Su Jing felt a set of scriptures appearing in her mind. Moreover, these scriptures seemed to directly infuse into her soul, allowing her to comprehend them instantly. This is the returning origin technique, a set of cultivation scriptures. From now on, you should focus on cultivating this method. Remember, it must not be passed on to others. Then Qin Fan's voice echoed in Su Jing's mind. Su Jing nodded in understanding. What Qin Fan taught Su Jing was only the most basic cultivation technique. In a place like Earth where spiritual energy was scarce, profound cultivation techniques were difficult to practice, as the higher the cultivation technique, the greater the consumption. So, the most basic cultivation technique was the most suitable. Of course, even the most basic one was dozens of times stronger than the incomplete techniques of the Yuan family. When Su Jing reached the foundation establishment stage, she could switch to better techniques. Yunzhe, Su Jing will be in your care from now on, Qin Fan turned to Yunzhe and said. Don't worry, Master Qin, I will treat Su Jing as my own daughter and will never let her suffer any grievances, Yunzhe immediately replied. Alright, I'll remember your words. If she really suffers any grievances, I'll hold you accountable, Qin Fan said. Master Qin can come to the southwest at any time, Yunzhe immediately said. With Qin Fan's strength, he could easily annihilate the entire Yuan family. Moreover, with Su Jing there, their Yuan family could cling to Qin Fan's powerful thigh. Therefore, he dared not let Su Jing suffer any grievances and even wished to treat her like a princess. Qin Fan nodded in satisfaction and then looked at Su Jing, who was hiding on the side, asking, What about them? How do you plan to deal with Su Hong and Bai Lao Tai? Upon hearing this, Su Hong and Bai Lao Tai immediately looked at Su Jing with pleading eyes. Although they have ill intentions towards me, they have raised me for 24 years. So, let's just forget about it. Su Jing looked at Su Hong and the others, feeling complicated inside but still chose to forgive. It's up to you, Qin Fan said. Su Jing nodded and said, Would you like to come with me to the southwest? I may need your help in finding my biological parents. Willingly, of course, Bai Lao Tai immediately said. Qin Fan saw this and didn't say much. In the following time, Yunzhe contacted his people. Half a day later, a convoy came to pick up Su Jing and Yunzhe's group. After sending off Su Jing, Qin Fan shook his head. He didn't expect to come to Huahai accidentally and experience so much in just 2 days. It's time to go back to Jiangcheng and use the jade pendant to find out about my origins. Qin Fan felt that things had settled and decided to return to Jiangcheng. But just as he was about to go back, the phone suddenly rang. Qin Fan glanced at it and saw that it was Lin Qingyan calling, so he answered the phone. Qin Fan, where are you? Aunt Wang said you haven't been home for 2 days. Lin Qingyan's voice came through the phone, somewhat complaining. I'm in Huahai, Qin Fan immediately replied. Why did you go to Huahai? Lin Qingyan sounded puzzled. Did you know we were going to Huahai? What? Are you also coming to Huahai? Qin Fan was also puzzled after reaching a cooperation agreement with Tianqin Company. I wanted to reward the company, so I organized a company trip. In 7 days, a cruise ship will dock in Huahai. I plan to take the people from the company to play on the cruise ship for 2 days. Shui will also be there, Lin Qingyan explained. Oh, Qin Fan responded. What are you doing in Huahai? Lin Qingyan asked. Just dealing with the demolition of the old house. It'll take a few days, Qin Fan casually made up a reason. Lin Qingyan heard this reason and didn't doubt it at all because Qin Fan had indeed lived in Huahai for more than 10 years and had an old house there. So she said, then you're busy with your matters first. We can meet up in Huahai later and go to the cruise ship together. Sure, Qin Fan agreed. Then it's settled, Lin Qingyan said happily. Chapter 153, The Demise of the Wushan Sect. 2 days later. In the midst of the southwestern mountains lies a citadel of stone. This grand hall is the main altar of the Wushan sect in the Xia Kingdom. Originating in the Xia Kingdom 2 millennia ago, the Wushan sect fled to Myanmar for development, flourished for a millennium, and then, bolstered by 2 world wars, expanded its followers, spreading throughout Southeast Asia, with tens of millions of devotees, forming an exceedingly vast organization. Internationally, the Wushan sect is classified as an S-level organization. However, the return of the Wushan sect to the Xia Kingdom occurred over 100 years ago. For over 100 years, the Wushan sect has established itself here, deeply rooted in formidable, reigning terror in the southwest, claiming countless lives. In the innermost sanctum of the stone citadel stands a statue towering over 10 meters tall, depicting a fearsome figure with 3 heads and 6 arms, each visage grotesque and terrifying. At this moment, the Wushan sect's high priest, along with many elders, has gathered here. The youngest among them is in his 40s, while the oldest surpasses 100 years. One of the elders, his countenance dark as water, gazes at the man below the hall. And this man is the Wushan sect's young master who miraculously survived. Currently, the young master is recounting his experiences in Huahai City to his father, the elder before him, the present high priest of the Wushan sect. Father, I implore you to avenge me, to avenge the broken army, to avenge the ghost witch's banner. After recounting all that transpired in Huahai City, the young master speaks through clenched teeth. Very well, after all these years, the Wushan sect has never endured such humiliation. Indeed, even back then, Xiao Zhangnan dared not to affront the Wushan sect in such a manner. That Qin master actually dares to make such audacious claims, declaring to annihilate our Wushan sect. I am eager to witness how he intends to extinguish us. To dare disrupt the affairs of our young master, this individual must suffer for 99 days, then be forged into a puppet, forever denied rebirth. Having heard the young master's words, the elders of the Wushan sect immediately pledged to dismember Qin master's body. The strength of the Wushan sect is unparalleled. In the Xia Kingdom, only a few can stand against it. And this so-called Qin master not only meddled in the affairs of the young master but also dared to declare the annihilation of the Wushan sect, thoroughly provoking its ire. This man must die. At this moment, the high priest's voice resonates with solemnity. This man must die. This man must die. Instantly, within the grand hall, many low voices echo. Upon hearing his father's words, the young master's smile reveals his inner thoughts. Foolishness begets foolishness. They have actually allowed me to return. Next, Qin master, prepare to be tormented to death by the Wushan sect. Indeed? However, just as these words settled in the mind of the Wushan sect's young master, a voice resonated unexpectedly in his mind. Qin master. The young master's complexion changed upon hearing this, and he exclaimed in astonishment. The voice was familiar to him. It was the voice of Qin Fan. What's wrong? What Qin master? The people present were slightly taken aback by the young master's voice and all turned their gaze towards him in the center of the hall. At this moment, the young master stood there dazedly, his eyes vacant. My child? What's the matter? The Wushan sect's high priest looked at his son, his brow furrowed, clearly noticing that the young master's state was amiss. Is this not the main altar of the Wushan sect? At that moment, the young master opened his mouth and spoke, but the voice that emerged was not his own. It was Qin Fan's voice. My child, what is going on? The high priest looked at the young master, asking repeatedly. However, the young master did not respond. Instead, he turned his head, surveyed the surroundings, and then spoke. It seems there is indeed some connection with the Wuzu clan. Upon hearing this, the people looked at the young master with strange expressions, still unclear about what had happened. Meanwhile, the high priest seemed to have discerned something unusual about his son and immediately asked, "Who are you, occupying my son's body?" At this moment, the young master turned to the high priest and said, "I am the Qin master you sought to kill earlier." The faces of the people present changed instantly upon hearing this, recalling a certain method from legend. Body possession. The young master had been possessed by Qin master. Qin master? The high priest looked at his son, his expression darkening. "Quickly, vacate my son's body." "Sure." The young master uttered 2 words. And the next moment, after he spoke, his entire body was enveloped in a green light, and then a lotus imprint appeared on his forehead. Then his body was engulfed by green flames, followed by a thunderous explosion. Roar! Several low dragon roars resounded as 7 green fire dragons burst forth from the young master's ruptured body. Witnessing this scene, the people present felt as if an invisible hand had gripped their throats, staring in horror at the sudden turn of events. At the moment these green fire dragons appeared, they immediately wreaked havoc within the grand hall. "Quick, take action!" The high priest was the first to react, giving the command. Immediately, the elders of the Wuxian sect moved to defend against the sudden appearance of the green fire dragons. However, faced with the heavenly Garuda fire formation deployed by a cultivator in the middle stage of the nascent soul realm, all resistance was futile. Within the grand hall, the 7 green fire dragons rampaged, reducing everything they touched to ashes. Even the high priest, with the strength of a grandmaster of Dao arts, was instantly incinerated by the fire dragons. Finally, the entire stone citadel of the Wuxian sect was engulfed in the raging green flames, ultimately turning into ashes. The Wuxian sect, destroyed. A day later. In Kunnan City, the largest city in the southwest, lies the Yuan family manor. Yun Zhe had already brought Su Jing back to the Yuan family and declared her as his adopted daughter, passing on his mantle to her. Although this caused a great uproar in the Yuan family, Su Jing's remarkable talent in cultivation, especially after practicing the techniques passed down by Qin Fan, revealed astonishing strength, instantly silencing everyone in the Yuan family. However, what shook Yun Zhe was not Su Jing's strength and talent but the news about the Wuxian sect. The message was succinct: the main altar of the Wuxian sect had been reduced to ruins, with no survivors at this moment. Yun Zhe was so shocked that he didn't know what to say. "Qin master, he must be a divine immortal." Finally, Yun Zhe uttered a sentence that left everyone in the Yun family baffled. Yun Zhe knew that this must have been the work of Qin Fan. Excellent! With Su Jing in the Yun family, it means we've embraced the thigh of the divine immortal Qin. In the future, our Yun family will soar to great heights. Yun Zhe was overjoyed. In Huahai City, the atmosphere in the Yuan family was somber. The Yuan family, which was supposed to cooperate with the Wuxian sect, received news that the Wuxian sect had been destroyed 2 days earlier, with no survivors. "Family head, what should we do now? How could the Wuxian sect suddenly be wiped out? All our efforts for the Wuxian sect have been in vain. Now that we've lost the support of the Wuxian sect, how can we oppose the Wang family?" The members of the Yuan family wailed, as the Wuxian sect was supposed to be their greatest support, the backbone that enabled them to stand against the Wang family. Now that their support had suddenly been eradicated, the Yuan family was in dire straits. Holding this news, Yuan Holia's body trembled. Having experienced that incident, he knew that this was definitely Qin Fan's doing. We should just serve him like dogs. Yuan Honlai trembled as he spoke. Chapter 154, The Famous Star Xie Shudong. Outside Huahai City, on the highway, Qin Fan sat in the passenger seat beside Shin Junjie, suddenly opening his eyes wide. He saw a phantom figure streaking across the sky at an incredibly fast speed, then entering his brow. This was his avatar. During the nascent soul stage, cultivators' nascent souls could transform into avatars, or even become a clone of the cultivator. Although Qin Fan was only in the middle stage of nascent soul, due to his previous encounter with the divine will of nascent transformation, his nascent soul had already begun to transform towards nascent transformation. Thus, a strand of his avatar was born. He attached this avatar to the Wuxian sect's young master and had him bring it to the hidden main altar of the Wuxian sect nestled in the mountains. Moreover, he also imprinted the heavenly Garuda fire formation on the young master. What the avatar saw was what he saw. Once the avatar confirmed that the young master had arrived at the main altar of the Wuxian sect, the heavenly Garuda fire formation could be activated, completely annihilating the Wuxian sect. This possession by the avatar was just a small experiment for Qin Fan. However, the avatar at the middle stage of nascent soul is quite weak. It took a whole day to return. Indeed, I must enter the nascent transformation stage as soon as possible. Xin Fan withdrew the avatar, sighing inwardly, what's wrong? We still have more than an hour before we reach the Yuelong Mountain Villa. You can rest first. Shen Junjie, who was driving, saw Xin Fan suddenly open his eyes and asked. It's nothing, just finished something. Xin Fan smiled in response. Not understanding, Shen Junjie continued, Jingjing, how come you're so impulsive? We could have gone to Yuelong Mountain Villa together. Yes, it's so hard to get tickets for Yuelong Mountain Villa. Mo Xiaoxiao lamented. Originally, Xin Fan had nothing to do and was focusing on cultivation, waiting to meet Lin Qingyan in 7 days and then accompany her and Xiang Shui on a cruise. Unexpectedly, he received a call from Shen Junjie, saying they were going to Yuelong Mountain Villa in Linhai City. So, Xin Fan and Shen Junjie's group drove to the Jiangnan Linhai City Hot Spring Resort, which was 60 kilometers away from Huahai City, to play for 2 days. Linhai City is already a famous tourist city in Jiangnan. This Yuelong Mountain Villa is a key tourism project in Linhai City, with an investment of over 1 billion yuan. It's no worse than the Taiping Mountain Villa hot spring in Jianbei. This time, I used my connections to get tickets to the villa. Shen Junjie spoke with some pride. You're quite capable. Mo Xiaoxiao rolled her eyes and then changed the subject. This time, Zixuan brought Gu Wenwen. I really dislike this woman. She's just materialistic. Her whole family is like that. She demands an 888,000 yuan dowry. Why doesn't she ask how many people can come up with that much money after graduating for 1 or 2 years? Shen Junjie said. The key is not that. The key is she's stringing Zixuan along. If she said she'd break up if Zixuan couldn't come up with it, I wouldn't say anything. But she keeps stringing him along, which is really annoying. Mo Xiaoxiao looked displeased. I've advised him, but Zixuan just likes her. Think about how outstanding Zixuan is. Only been out of school for 2 years and he's already a deputy manager at a large company, earning 400,000 a year. Shen Junjie said somewhat resentfully, Zixuan, it's not like you can't find a woman. Listening to the conversation between the two, Xin Fan frowned slightly. He hadn't seen this Gu Wenwen, but from what Shen Junjie and Mo Xiaoxiao said, she didn't seem like a good woman. Let it go. Let's have a good time for 2 days. Mo Xiaoxiao changed the subject. Yes. Shen Junjie replied. Soon, the three arrived at their destination, a hot spring resort. After getting out of the car, they saw Lin Zixuan, who had arrived earlier, waving at them with a woman beside him. Brother Junjie, I really owe you this time. Lin Zixuan said to Shen Junjie. Heh, we're old friends. Shen Junjie smiled and said. Then turning to Xin Fan, he said, Xin Fan, this is my girlfriend, Gu Wenwen. It's your first time meeting her, right? Xin Fan, upon hearing this, looked towards Lin Zixuan's girlfriend. Gu Wenwen wore a fitted dress that accentuated her outstanding figure. She had a decent appearance, with light makeup that gave her a pure look. Hello, I'm Zixuan's childhood friend, Xin Fan, Xin Fan politely greeted. Gu Wenwen nodded towards Xin Fan and replied, hello. Let's go inside, Shen Junjie said. Immediately, the 5 of them entered the Yuelong Mountain Villa. The villa was spacious, a large-scale comprehensive facility integrating dining, hot springs, and tourism, which was quite impressive. Upon arriving at the villa's front desk, they registered. They had booked 3 rooms. Xin Fan and Shen Junjie shared one, Mo Xiaoxiao had a separate room, while Lin Zixuan stayed with his girlfriend. After the 5 of them put down their luggage, they went to the reserved restaurant for dinner. After we order, take a look at the table next to us. Does anyone look familiar? Shen Junjie whispered to the other 4 as they sat down. Xin Fan followed his gaze and saw a woman at the neighboring table wearing large sunglasses, revealing only her pointed chin and cherry-like lips. She was leisurely eating. The woman's attire was quite fashionable, and her dining movements were elegant, exuding grace and elegance. At a glance, Xin Fan knew that this woman must be a great beauty. Shen Junjie, you've never seen a beauty. Mo Xiaoxiao glanced at the woman and then glared at him. Don't act like a pervert, you'll embarrass us. It's not that, look carefully, doesn't this woman look like Xie Shadong? Shen Junjie immediately said. Mo Xiaoxiao turned her head again to carefully observe the woman wearing sunglasses. Then, her mouth opened slightly as she turned back and immediately took out her phone, typed in the 3 words Xie Shadong, and then compared the woman's appearance with the search results. Does she look like her? Shen Junjie asked. Imo Xiaoxiao nodded and whispered, not just similar, it is Xie Shadong. It really is Xie Shadong. Gu Wenwen, feeling a bit incredulous, also took out her phone, searched for information, and compared it. Then she spoke, indeed, it is her. Qin Fan, listening to this, looked puzzled and asked, Xie Shadong? Who is she? She's the famous star Xie Shadong, a top-tier star in Xia country. You don't know? Gu Wenwen furrowed her brows upon hearing Qin Fan's question, her tone somewhat disdainful. Xie Shadong was a top-tier actress and singer in Xia country, currently very popular. You could easily come across her videos on Douyin. Qin Fan, not paying attention to entertainment news, naturally didn't know. At this moment, it seemed that Xie Shadong heard the conversation of the people at Qin Fan's table and put down her utensils, getting up to leave. She's leaving. I have to go get an autograph. Gu Wenwen saw Xie Shadong leaving and, as a fan, immediately stood up. I'll go too. Imo Xiaoxiao also stood up and followed. The 2 women quickly followed behind Xie Shadong. However, at this moment, a middle-aged man walked out of the entrance and blocked Xie Shutong's path. The man who walked out was slim, in his early 30s, wearing glasses, and appeared refined, much like a secretary. Imo Xiaoxiao and Gu Wenwen stopped in their tracks when they saw him, thinking he was Xie Shutong's manager, and dared not approach any closer. Miss Xie, our young master invites you, the man said respectfully to Xie Shadong. I'm sorry, I'm not interested. Xie Shadong refused coldly. Miss Xie, I think you should reconsider. Our young master, not only in Jiangnan but even in Huahai, few dare to provoke him, the man continued. I said I'm not interested. Xie Shadong refused again. In that case, I have no choice but to offend you. The man's expression turned cold as he spoke. After saying that, he reached out to grab Xie Shadong. Naturally, Xie Shadong struggled and refused, shouting, let me go. Imo Xiaoxiao, witnessing this scene, became furious. This was akin to daylight robbery, something intolerable to someone from a military family, especially a female soldier with strong principles. Without hesitation, she rushed forward and delivered a swift and powerful kick to the man's abdomen. It must be said that Imo Xiaoxiao's military background showed in her swift and forceful kick, causing the man to cry out in pain. Robbing women forcibly. I'll teach you a lesson. Imo Xiaoxiao beat the man while scolding him. Stop, stop. Gu Wenwen hurriedly shouted from the side. If Imo Xiaoxiao continued, she feared something might go wrong. Diao Diao, stop it. If you continue, there will be real trouble. Yes, stop it. Lin Zixuan, Shen Junjie, and Qin Fan all walked over and pulled Imo Xiaoxiao away. The man struggled to get up, his nose swollen and bruised, glaring at Imo Xiaoxiao. Who the hell are you? Do you know who I am? I don't care who you are. Snatching women openly in broad daylight, I'll beat you to death. Imo Xiaoxiao said fiercely. Fine, you wait and see, the man threatened as he limped away. What a villainous appearance, Shen Junjie sneered. Imo Xiaoxiao chuckled and then turned to Xie Shadong, asking, are you okay, big star? Hearing this, Xie Shadong smiled and said, thank you. Xie Shutong's voice was very pleasant, like a skylark. It's nothing. I just can't stand this kind of thing. If he dares to come again, I'll break his dog head. Imo Xiaoxiao clenched her fist. Upon hearing Imo Xiaoxiao's fiery temper, Xie Shadong was surprised. Big star, do you want to have dinner with us? After that, we'll take you back. That guy might not have gone far. Shen Junjie seized the opportunity to extend an invitation. Xie Shadong remained silent for a moment, then nodded. Okay. Immediately, the group returned to their original seats, and Xie Shadong sat down next to Qin Fan. Xie Shadong, as a top-tier female star in Xia country, exuded a strong presence. As soon as she sat down, Imo Xiaoxiao and the others felt overwhelmed and forgot to eat. What's wrong with you guys? Xie Shadong smiled lightly. It's my first time having such close contact with a big star and eating together. It's a bit uncomfortable. Imo Xiaoxiao felt a bit shy at this moment. Why weren't you shy just now, yet so brave? Shen Junjie couldn't help but laugh at Imo Xiaoxiao's shy expression. You! Imo Xiaoxiao blared fiercely at Shen Junjie. However, this short exchange immediately improved the atmosphere. Imo Xiaoxiao said, let me introduce Miss Xie. Listening to Mo Xiaoxiao's introduction, Xie Shadong nodded slightly and then smiled, saying, I don't need to introduce myself, right? No need, nobody in Xia country doesn't know you, Mo Xiaoxiao quickly interjected. Xie Shadong smiled with a hint of pride, I'm not that famous. She knew her popularity well, especially with the rise of short videos on platforms like Douyin. Anyone in Xia country who didn't know her must be living in a remote area without internet access. The guy next to Miss Xie doesn't seem to recognize you, though, Gu Wenwen said, looking at Qinfan, who was busy eating. Xie Shadong was slightly surprised at this remark, then glanced at Qinfan, who was sitting beside her. At the moment, Qinfan didn't seem to pay attention to Xie Shadong sitting next to him, he was focused on eating. Seeing Qinfan like this surprised Xie Shadong. As a top-tier star in Xia country, known as the Goddess of Innocence, Xie Shadong had been in the entertainment industry since she was 16. Over the years, she had seen all kinds of beautiful people in the industry. Qinfan's appearance was indeed outstanding, but not to the point where she felt anything special. However, after feeling Qinfan's gaze, she looked back at him. In that moment, his gaze fell just above Xie Shutong's chest. Miss Xie, can I see the amulet you're wearing? Qinfan spoke up. Xie Shadong was suddenly stunned. How did he know she was wearing an amulet? Her amulet was worn on her chest, hidden under her clothes. Did he peek? In an instant, all the fantasies she had about Qinfan shattered. Miss Xie, your amulet is so beautiful. Mo Xiaoxiao and Gu Wenwen, prompted by Qinfan's words, looked at Xie Shadong and exclaimed. Xie Shadong lowered her head and realized that her amulet had fallen out, probably during the altercation just now. Feeling embarrassed, she decided to take off the amulet and said, if you're interested, take a look. Instantly, everyone was drawn to Xie Shutong's amulet. The amulet was indeed beautiful, captivating anyone who laid eyes on it. Miss Xie, is your amulet from the Temple of Illumination in Hulua country? Gu Wenwen looked surprised after examining it. Yes, it was obtained from the Temple of Illumination in Hulua country, Xie Shadong nodded. Wow, isn't that very expensive? My mom has a friend who got a similar amulet from the Temple of Illumination, even without being consecrated by a senior monk, it costs around 1.2 million. Yours must be worth several million, Gu Wenwen exclaimed in shock. Shen Junjie and the others were all astonished. They were from ordinary families and had never seen such a small piece of jewelry worth millions. Throw it away. However, at that moment, Qinfan's voice suddenly rang out. Chapter 156, Just a Dog. The utterance of Qinfan left everyone in a state of bewilderment, gazing at him with expressions of astonishment. To discard, you say? Xie Shadong turned to Qinfan, wearing an incredulous expression. Qinfan, are you speaking sensibly? This is worth millions, and you're proposing to discard it? Shen Junjie's countenance was filled with astonishment as he regarded Qinfan. What are you saying, Qinfan? Mo Xiaoxiao grew anxious instantly. Zixuan, what's the matter with your friend? This amulet is worth millions, and he suggests discarding it. Does he comprehend the gravity of his words? Gu Wenwen chuckled at Qinfan's words. This transcends mere monetary concerns. This is my dearest friend's heartfelt sacrifice to procure it for me. Yet, you suggest I cast it away. Do you even grasp the concept of courtesy? Xie Shadong voiced her displeasure. Either burn it or discard it. My stance on the matter ends here. Whether you heed my words is entirely your prerogative, Qinfan spoke calmly, unaffected. Upon scrutinizing the amulet with his spiritual senses, he discerned a malignant spirit lurking within. Though feeble, this malevolent aura perpetually emanated, gradually deteriorating one's mental state over time. Prolonged proximity would deteriorate one's mental well-being, inevitably impacting daily life, such as driving, increasing susceptibility to accidents. Therefore, the sender's intent with this amulet was evidently malevolent towards Xie Shadong. Of course, Qinfan had offered his advice, whether she chose to heed it was beyond his concern. At this moment, Xie Shutong's fleeting curiosity towards Qinfan had entirely dissipated, replaced by disdain. Having navigated the entertainment industry for years, encountering a myriad of individuals, she recognized Qinfan's type, merely seeking attention with provocative remarks. However, if she could be so easily swayed, she would have long perished amidst the cutthroat competition of the entertainment industry. I have matters to attend to. I shall take my leave, Xie Shadong declared, desiring no further discourse with Qinfan, and promptly departed. Witnessing Xie Shuton's departure, the others turned their gazes towards Qin Fan, uttering perplexed remarks. However, as Xie Shudong rose from her seat, a horde of burly men clad in black emerged outside the door. Over 20 ominous figures rushed towards Qin Fan's vicinity, encircling him. What? What are you all? Even a first-tier female star like Xie Shudong was startled by this display. What do you intend? Mo Xiaoxiao, with slightly more courage, stood up immediately, though her demeanor lacked its former conviction in the face of so many. Both Shen Junjie and Lin Zixuan turned pale, while Gu Wenwen trembled beside Lin Zixuan. They had never encountered such a menacing formation before. What do we intend? You think you can get away with assaulting me without repercussions? A disdainful voice rang out as the voice reverberated. A man strode forward. It's you! Xie Shudong exclaimed upon seeing him. The man in question was none other than the individual previously assaulted by Mo Xiaoxiao. What do you want, you scoundrel? Mo Xiaoxiao exclaimed loudly. Assistant Wu, are these the people? Mo Xiaoxiao's words had barely subsided when another voice chimed in, followed by a bald man stepping forward. Master Yu, this is your territory. I won't address you as young master here. Please handle this. Don't disappoint me, Assistant Wu addressed the incoming individual. Master Yu? Are you Yu Shanha of Linyu Mountain? Xie Shuton's complexion paled upon hearing the name. To have the esteemed celebrity Miss Xie recognize me, I am quite honored, Yu Shanha addressed Xie Shudong. As a native of Linhai City, Xie Shudong naturally knew that Yu Shanha was the local tycoon, the proprietor of Linyu Mountain Villa. Master Yu, is there perhaps a misunderstanding in this matter? Xie Shudong inquired. Miss Xie claims it's a misunderstanding, so be it. I won't press the matter further. However, these individuals have caused trouble within my territory by assaulting my esteemed guest. I must provide an explanation to my guest. Therefore, Miss Xie, it's best for you to refrain from meddling in this affair, Yu Shanha stated, shifting his gaze towards Mo Xiaoxiao. Upon hearing this, Xie Shudong initially intended to speak up for Mo Xiaoxiao, considering the altercation originated from her actions. However, she refrained. As a top-tier female star, she had navigated the entertainment industry for years and understood that such local influencers were not to be trifled with. She recalled a colleague who had offended a local figure in a place similar to Linhai, resulting in the entire production team being detained for 2 days. The company had to intervene with local powers to resolve the issue. She, as a top-tier celebrity, didn't necessarily need to fret over such local influencers, but she also didn't want to offend them. Who knew what drastic measures they might resort to if provoked? Thus, she opted to forego speaking up for Mo Xiaoxiao. After all, they were merely passing acquaintances. If I assaulted someone, what do you intend to do? Mo Xiaoxiao adopted a defiant attitude. Young lady, it seems your parents neglected to teach you the importance of discretion when venturing outside. Provoking the wrong people necessitates accountability. Therefore, today, I'll impart a lesson on behalf of your parents. Yu Shanha sneered coldly at Mo Xiaoxiao. Master Yu, let's talk this out. I know Yi Xiao, we can have a civilized discussion. Shen Junjie intervened hastily, shielding Mo Xiaoxiao. Yi Xiao? You mean Yi Hao? Yu Shanha chuckled in response. Yes, I'm his friend. He introduced me here today, Shen Junjie promptly replied. Yi Hao, come out, Yu Shanha suddenly bellowed. Subsequently, a man with a mischievous air akin to Shen Junjie emerged. Yi Xiao. Shen Junjie called out upon seeing him. Why the hell are you calling me? You come here to play, and you stir up trouble? Yi Hao berated Shen Junjie upon arrival. After the tirade, he turned to Yu Shanha and said, Master Yu, I don't know him. Did you hear that? Yu Shanha's voice turned icy. Shen Junjie was dumbfounded. Realizing he had been deceived, Shen Junjie felt a sense of dread wash over him. This Yi Xiao was evidently one of Yu Shanha's lackeys. In an instant, everyone felt it, everything was over. Take them all away, Yu Shanha commanded nonchalantly. Immediately, the men in black sprang into action. The onlookers in the restaurant expressed regret at the unnecessary trouble caused by these individuals. Yu Shanha, my friend merely kicked a dog in Linhai. Who gave you the audacity to mobilize forces for retribution? At that moment, a sudden voice disrupted the scene. Upon hearing the voice, Yu Shanha and his cohorts swiftly shifted their gaze past Xie Shudong, landing on the man standing behind her. What did you say? Who do you call a dog? Assistant Wu exploded in fury upon hearing the statement. Yu Shanha raised an eyebrow, smirked, and turned his gaze towards the speaker. With a single glance, Yu Shanha's expression froze momentarily before he respectfully addressed Master Qin. Chapter 157, A Visit from Fate. Master Qin? At the utterance of these three words, everyone's expressions froze, some incredulously gazing at the respectfully inclined Yu Shanha. Xie Shudong glanced sideways at Qin Fan, somewhat perplexed by the situation. The reverential address of Master Qin from Yu Shanha was entirely genuine, not a facade. What does Master Qin signify? Does he wield significant influence? Xie Shudong gazed at Qin Fan, wearing a puzzled expression. Not only was she puzzled, but even Shen Junjie and the others were also perplexed. Qin Fan's audacious words just now seemed to carry significant weight. Now, none of Yu Shanha's men dared to move. What's going on? Assistant Wu turned to Yu Shanha for an explanation. He's Master Qin from Jiangnan, Yu Shanha responded, his expression tinged with embarrassment. Master Qin from Jiangnan? Assistant Wu was momentarily stunned. Master Qin, I truly didn't expect to see you here. It seems the cat is out of the bag. Yu Shanha turned to Qin Fan with an apologetic expression. Linhai City belonged to Jiangnan, but due to its proximity to Huahai, it was significantly influenced by Huahai. To put it plainly, its economy was drained by Huahai, resulting in a primary focus on tourism development, which lagged behind the major cities of Jiangnan. Nonetheless, being part of Jiangnan, Yu Shanha naturally attended both Zhou Dajiang's battle and the Tianqin Company's banquet. However, among the influential figures in Jiangnan, he was only a minor player. He was well aware of Qin Fan's strength and status. Qin Fan was definitely not someone he could afford to offend. He had even invited Qin Fan to visit before, but receiving no response, he hadn't expected him to show up now, causing such a commotion. Now, he certainly wouldn't dare to stand up for Assistant Wu. Why stand there stupefied? Qin Fan spoke lightly. Upon hearing this, Yu Shanha displayed a wry smile, then turned to Assistant Wu, saying, Assistant Wu, let's drop the matter. You can now invite Miss Xie to meet your young master, so there's no need to escalate the situation further. Assistant Wu's expression was unpleasant and aggrieved. If the other party truly was Master Qin from Jiangnan, then he was merely an assistant to the young master. Yu Shanha wouldn't side with him if he offended Master Qin. So, he had truly been taken advantage of. Seeing Assistant Wu's lack of response, Yu Shanha waved his hand, and the burly men immediately retreated. Shen Junjie and the others felt like they were dreaming. Was the matter resolved just like that? At the same time, they suddenly felt unfamiliar with Qin Fan. Had Qin Fan transformed into a significant figure? Apologies for the disturbance, Master Qin. I'll cover all expenses for this visit, Yu Shanha said to Qin Fan. Qin Fan nodded, and Yu Shanha led his men away. Wudong, why did you waste so much time bringing Xie Shudong here, making me come in person? However, just as Yu Shanha was about to leave with his men, a voice of complaint resounded. Hearing this voice, Yu Shanha sensed trouble. The young master had arrived indeed. Upon hearing the voice, Assistant Wu, who had been crestfallen moments ago, suddenly smiled and hurried over. A young man walked into the restaurant entrance. He was impeccably dressed, exuding the aura of a young noble. Young master, it's like this. Wu Dong hurried to the side of the young man and swiftly recounted the events with added embellishments. Upon hearing Wu Dong's explanation, the young man's face turned cold, and he strode quickly towards Qin Fan. Yuan Zijie. Shen Junjie exclaimed upon seeing the newcomer. Yuan Zijie? The young master of the Yuan family from Huahai. Xia Shuton's expression changed upon hearing Shen Junjie's words. It was young Master Yuan who invited me? Yu Shanha displayed a bitter smile and nodded. Xie Shudong felt a twinge of regret. She shouldn't have put on airs as a big star and refused. If she had just gone over to socialize, things wouldn't have escalated to this extent. But now, the situation had spiraled out of control. She had heard plenty about this Yuan Zijie from her colleagues at the company. His spending was extravagant. As long as he was pleased, he would invest billions and even fund your film projects. However, if he was displeased, he would make your life a living hell. What was more crucial was that she was here precisely because her career was not going well lately. But now that things had blown up, it would likely deal a fatal blow to her career. At least she could forget about resources from Jiangnan and Huahai. This left her feeling regretful. Smack! Yuan Zijie rushed to Yushanha and delivered a resounding slap, causing Yushanha's face to twist from the impact. My people were attacked in your place, and you say it's fine? What kind of person are you? The young master shouted at Yushanha. Yushanha, after being slapped, could only turn with a forced smile and say, Young Master Yuan, he's Master Qin. I don't give a damn if he's Master Qin or Master Dog, whoever dares to touch me, I'll make sure they're dead, Yuan Zijie arrogantly declared. With that said, he turned to Qin Fan and said, You are. But before Yuan Zijie could finish his sentence, he was met with a slap across his face. Yuan Zijie hadn't even reacted when he felt his right cheek explode in pain. Blood mixed with teeth sprayed out, and then his entire body collapsed to the ground. Was everyone truly dumbfounded this time? No one had expected Qin Fan to act so suddenly and without warning. I haven't had a chance to help you settle the score with Yuan Zijie, and here he is, offering himself on a platter today. What luck, Qin Fan remarked, turning to Shinjunjie. Shinjunjie stood there in a daze, completely unsure how to respond. He had been just mouthing off to Qin Fan back then. Now, Qin Fan had actually acted. Master Qin, he. Yushanha's complexion suddenly changed. Yuan Zijie was the legitimate heir of the Yuan family. Linhai was heavily influenced by Huahai, so the Yuan family was not someone he could afford to provoke. He might not give assistant Wu face, but he absolutely couldn't afford to offend Yuan Zijie, especially considering he had been attacked. Yuan Zijie was greatly favored within the Yuan family, otherwise he wouldn't have been so arrogant. Do you have any objections? Qin Fan heard the voice and asked Yushanha. Yushanha was instantly dumbfounded. This was like gods fighting. As a little ghost, he was doomed. You. Yuan Zijie climbed to his feet from the ground, pointing at Qin Fan, ready to speak. But Qin Fan raised his hand and slapped him again, sending him tumbling to the ground once more. This time, after being knocked to the ground, Qin Fan took a step forward and directly stomped on Yuan Zijie's chest. Thud. A dull sound echoed, and Yuan Zijie hadn't even had time to scream. His eyes rolled back, and all signs of life vanished. Everything happened so quickly that no one could react. By the time they came to their senses, all they saw was Yuan Zijie, now a lifeless corpse. Chapter 158, even kneeling down couldn't change it. Yushanha snapped back to reality, gaping in disbelief at Qin Fan, his face a picture of incredulity as the screams of fleeing diners echoed in his ears. Master Qin. Your actions are somewhat impulsive. Yushanha addressed Qin Fan, his voice trembling. He had witnessed Qin Fan kill Zhou Dajiang in Zhou Leidong. But this time, he had killed the young master of the Yuan family in Huahai. The Yuan family was in Huahai, on the outskirts of Linhai City, not overseas like the Huatian Gate. Now that Yuan Zijie was dead, members of the Yuan family could arrive at any moment. The fury of the Yuan family was truly beyond what these southern families could endure. He said he wanted to kill me, Qin Fan said calmly. Yushanha was speechless in an instant. Yuan Zijie had indeed said those words before, so there could be no compromise between the two sides. Today's events were truly like a battle among immortals, with innocent bystanders suffering. Qin Fan turned to the stupefied Shinjunjie and others, saying, We're done here, sweating bullets. Let's go, soak in the hot springs. Qin Fan's words instantly brought the dazed group back to reality. Soak in hot springs? You still have the mood to soak in hot springs? You've killed someone. You killed Yuan Zijie of the Yuan family. Xie Shudong snapped out of her stupor, roaring at Qin Fan. She felt she was finished. The incident started because of her, but the outcome was too immense. Hitting someone would have been forgivable, after all, he was just an assistant. But now, he had actually killed the young master of the Yuan family. This wasn't just a big deal, this was poking a hole in the sky. This has nothing to do with me, this has nothing to do with me, I don't know any of you. Xie Shudong kept shaking her head, constantly retreating, wanting to leave. No one is allowed to leave. Wu Dong reacted at this moment, roaring, before the people from the Yuan family arrive, no one is allowed to leave. Wu Dong was completely out of his mind now. His own young master was dead. Once the Yuan family knew, they would definitely send people, and everyone involved in Yuan Zijie's death would have to face the wrath of the Yuan family. Upon hearing this, Xie Shudong felt powerless, slumping into a chair. Her recent career hadn't been going well, the 2 films she had previously shot had received mediocre responses, and she was already using up her fame. And now, she had encountered this today. The company would definitely not give her any more resources. Her acting career was probably over for good. Meanwhile, Shen Junjie and the others looked at Qin Fan with unfamiliar eyes. They couldn't believe Qin Fan had actually resorted to killing Mo Xiaoxiao, who had always been hot-tempered and bold, looked at Qin Fan with fear in her eyes. "What are you all worried about?" "Let's go, soak in the hot springs," Qin Fan said with a faint smile to the group. Having spoken, Qin Fan turned to Yushanha and added, "Arrange it for me." Yushanha could only show a bitter smile on his face, finally nodding. Now that things had come to this, what else could be done? Clinging to Master Qin's thigh might offer a chance at salvation. Immediately, Yushanha ordered his subordinates to clean up the scene. Meanwhile, in the main hall of the Yuan family in Huahai, Yuan Hanlai was in a very bad mood as he discussed matters with the members of his clan. The witch god sect had been annihilated, and now the only one they could turn to was Master Qin. It was a pity that he had refused that day, so they had no means of contacting Master Qin now. Now, he was contemplating how to reach Master Qin and how to make Master Qin accept them, the Yuan family, as his dogs to be able to serve Master Qin, who had annihilated the witch god sect of Xia Nation, was truly an honor for the Yuan family. Suddenly, his phone rang. He answered it immediately, but the next moment, he crushed the phone, leaving only the crackling of electricity. Seeing this, everyone knew something was wrong and immediately looked to Yuan Honglai for answers. "Zijie is dead, killed in Linhai." Yuan Honglai said each word slowly. Everyone was shocked to hear this news. "Lord, the culprit must be severely punished, and all those involved must be punished." Yes, the Yuan family is still strong now, the second family in Huahai City. If someone dares to kill Zijie and Linhai and we don't punish them severely, we won't be able to stand in Huahai in the future. The people of the Yuan family all spoke up, insisting on severe punishment for those involved. To Linhai. Finally, Yuan Honglia's face darkened. He indeed needed to severely punish the culprit, otherwise, if the still strong Yuan family was humiliated, they would have no face to stand in Huahai. At Yulongshan Villa, Qin Fan was enjoying himself soaking in the hot spring. As for Shen Junjie, Mo Xiaoxiao, Lin Zixuan, Gu Wenwen, and the others, they had no mood for soaking in hot springs. Now, they sat on the shore, anxious and uneasy. "Zixuan, should we escape?" Gu Wenwen grabbed Lin Zixuan and asked. "Escape? How can we escape? We can't even leave Yulongshan Villa." Lin Zixuan looked at Gu Wenwen. "If Qin Fan hasn't left, why should we?" Mo Xiaoxiao said. "That's his business. He's the one who killed someone. He killed the young master of the Yuan family." Gu Wenwen cried, "Why did Zixuan know you guys? Why did I come here? It's madness." "Why cry? Without Qin Fan, we would still be facing Yushanha's retaliation." Mo Xiaoxiao couldn't help but say when she saw Gu Wenwen crying. "Yes, Wenwen, no matter how amazing Qin Fan is, he shouldn't have killed someone, especially not Yuan Zijie at this point." Shang Junjie still couldn't figure out how his childhood friend suddenly became so formidable that even Yushanha was respectful to him, how he dared to kill Yuan Zijie, and then leisurely soak in a hot spring. "What's the situation with your company?" Mo Xiaoxiao immediately asked when Shang Shudong, who had gone outside to call for help from her company, returned and heard the conversation. "What about the company?" Shang Shudong smiled bitterly. "The company says the situation has escalated. The Yuan family has announced that anyone involved in Yuan Zijie's death will be severely punished. My acting career ends here." "What does that mean?" Mo Xiaoxiao asked. "They terminated my contract." Shang Shudong sat down despondently. Everyone's faces went pale when they heard this. Shang Shudong was now a first-tier actress. The company's decision to terminate her contract clearly indicated that they were trying to disassociate themselves from the situation and avoid being implicated in Yuan Zijie's death. "Why are you still in the mood for soaking in hot springs? Don't you know that the people from the Yuan family will be here soon? We're finished." Shang Shutong's anger grew as she thought about the situation, especially seeing Qin Fan still leisurely enjoying the hot spring. Who exactly is this person? Such a big incident has happened, and yet he can still peacefully soak in the hot spring. The Yuan family will come when they come. Who knows, maybe when they see me, they'll kneel down and beg. Qin Fan said lightly. Chapter 159, Truly Kneeling. Upon hearing Qin Fan's words, Xie Shudong stiffened on the spot. People from the Yuan family kneeling before you? Are you insane? You're the one who killed the young master of the Yuan family. Who do you think you are? Qin Bufan, the young master of the Qin family in Beijing? Xia Shudong retorted angrily. Qin Bufan? Qin Fan's interest was piqued upon hearing this name. Yes, Qin Bufan, one of the 5 great families of Xia Nation. You're Qin Fan, just one word different, worlds apart. Xia Shudong sneered at Qin Fan. You've met Qin Bufan? Qin Fan asked. Met him? I'm not even qualified to meet him, not even the president of my company is qualified. In the entire Jiangnan and Huahai, there isn't a single person qualified to meet Qin Bufan. Xia Shudong said. Quite a big shot, sounds like someone important. Qin Fan remarked. Not ordinary, born extraordinary, that's why he's called Qin Bufan, unlike you, just Qin Fan, plain and ordinary. Xia Shudong couldn't help but vent her anger on Qin Fan. She had been terminated, her acting career was over, all thanks to this Qin Fan. If the person in front of her was Qin Bufan, she would even be willing to clean up and climb into bed if it were Qin Bufan. Even if he killed Yuan Zijie, the Yuan family would only be able to stare blankly. But no, just one word less, and it was all over. Everyone fell silent upon hearing this. Qin Fan didn't continue the topic of Qin Bufan, instead leisurely continuing to soak in the hot spring. The others also fell silent, and the atmosphere suddenly became heavy. As time passed, suddenly, several screams came from outside. Then, Yu Shanha hurriedly ran in from outside, saying to Qin Fan, Master Qin, many people from the Yuan family have arrived. My people couldn't stop them, they barged in. Yuan Honlai was originally a Pekinate martial artist, and he had brought 2 others, both grandmasters. Only with this combination would Yu Shanha say they barged in. Oh. Qin Fan responded calmly. Seeing Qin Fan's attitude, Yu Shanha felt his heart sink. Yu Shanha. Just at this moment, a roar came from outside, and then a person burst in. And when this person burst in, everyone held their breath. Because this person's eyes were bloodshot, like a wild beast about to devour someone. Yu Shanha, where's the person who killed Zijie? Yuan Honlai roared like a wild beast. He only had one son, Zijie, and he doted on him very much. Now he was dead, and he was killed at a time when the Yuan family was strong. This kind of anger almost made him lose his reason. Lord Yuan, please let me explain, things may have been a misunderstanding. Yu Shanha's voice trembled in the face of Yuan Honglia's terrifying demeanor. I killed Zijie, do you want revenge? Qin Fan said calmly and indifferently. At this moment, Qin Fan was leaning against the edge of the pool, facing Yuan Honglai in profile. Everyone was stunned to hear this. He actually admitted it just like that? Did Yuan's family think they wouldn't dare to kill? Fine, since you've admitted it, then accept your fate. Yuan Honglai immediately stepped towards Qin Fan. Step, 2 steps, 3 steps. As he approached Qin Fan and saw his face clearly, he froze in place. Then, in the next moment, to the shock of everyone present, he knelt down, his feet curling beneath him. Bang! A sound of kowtowing echoed, as Yuan Honglai not only kneeled but also directly knocked his head to the ground. Yuan Honglai pays respects to Master Qin. Now, all the anger, vengeance, and grief over his son's death had dissipated. In their place was joy. He had been worried he wouldn't be able to meet Master Qin, but because of his son's death, he had. His son was dead, so be it. What mattered now was being able to serve Master Qin. As for descendants, as a martial artist with good health, coupled with some medicine, he could have a few more. Serving Master Qin was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. He was clear about what was more important. And this scene left everyone dumbfounded. Xia Shudong wished she could slap herself to see if she was dreaming. The people from the Yuan family actually knelt down to Qin Fan and kowtowed. I killed the person, do you seek revenge? Qin Fan said calmly. At these words, Yuan Honglai bowed his head even lower and said, I dare not. My son provoked Master Qin and deserves to die. Everyone was even more shocked to hear this, as this was a plea for forgiveness. If you don't seek revenge and yet kneel here, what do you intend? Qin Fan asked. I want to be Master Qin's dog. Yuan Honglai said without caring about his dignity. Being a dog to Master Qin was much better than being wiped out by the Wang family. Take your people and leave. Qin Fan ordered. Yes. Upon hearing this, Yuan Honglai immediately complied. Then, just as Qin Fan said, he crawled out with the people from the Yuan family like a dog. Everyone felt like their worldview was collapsing. The head of the second largest family in Huahai crawled out like a dog. However, they didn't know how delighted Yuan Honlai was. This indicated that Qin Fan had agreed to their Yuan family's surrender. Qin Fan. This. It wasn't until the people from the Yuan family had all left that Shinjunjia suddenly reacted. It's quite comfortable soaking in the hot spring. It's a pity you all didn't join. Qin Fan didn't answer, but stood up from the hot spring. I'm done soaking. You can go down and soak now. With that, Qin Fan walked away amidst the shocked gazes of everyone. Hey, who exactly is this Qin Fan? Why would the Yuan family even be willing to be his dogs? Xie Shadong saw Qin Fan leave and quickly grabbed Mo Xiaoxiao to ask. I don't know. Mo Xiaoxiao shook her head repeatedly. Isn't he your childhood friend? Xie Shadong asked. He is our childhood friend, but we haven't seen each other for several years, so we don't know what's happened. Shinjunji also looked bewildered. Zishuan, is he really your childhood friend? Even Gu Wenwen was dumbfounded. Yes, he's the childhood friend we played with for more than 10 years. It's just been a few years since we last saw him, and I didn't expect him to become such a figure. Lin Zishuan's mind was also in chaos. Let's get married when we go back. Gu Wenwen suddenly said. Lin Zishuan was stunned upon hearing this. Then, he immediately understood that Gu Wenwen had noticed their relationship with Qin Fan. However, he didn't mind. Xia Shadong looked towards the direction Qin Fan left, full of regret. She had always been very accurate in judging people. How could she have misjudged this time? What kind of background did this person have to make the Yuan family willingly become his followers? The Qin family in Beijing? Damn it, I could see it at first glance. The young master is exceptional. Why was I so stupid later? Xie Shadong regretted deeply. If she could cling to Qin Fan's thigh, the future would be smooth sailing, and she might even marry into those top-tier families. However, she also found it ridiculous. She ran out to clear her mind and encountered such a character. It was just like the plot of the TV drama she acted in. So she didn't believe her initial judgment of Qin Fan. At the moment of regret, her gaze suddenly swept over the amulet hanging on her chest, murmuring in her heart, Niaozhu, you.